Good evening and welcome to EGI 2 Stream 5. It's the first EGI 2 Stream 5 of 2024. It's the first EGI 2 stream for 2024, and we are so excited to be back here in the studio. As you can see, we've achieved some of the renovations to the studio that we would have expected, having been on twitch.tv/EGI_2 for the month of December 2023, but it is now January 2024, and we are finding that all of the hard work that we have done as a community is coming to fruition. Allan, how are you feeling, and what are you thinking about in going into this new year?
Happy New Year, Robbie. Happy New Year to all the viewers of the EGI2 family who are watching. I love the new set. I'm very impressed. I'm glad the renovations are done. I'm looking forward to the renovations being completed on my room. And what was the question? What was the question?
I just wanted to know how you're feeling about the year 2024, if you've made any New Year's resolutions. We are hearing that you are a little bit quiet, so let's just.
Oh, okay.
We're going to try and affect that.
Okay.
When you adjust it, is an adjustment an effect also?
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
I'm happy for 2024. I'm excited for this year. This is probably the most excited I've been for a year since last year.
Since 2023.
Yes, I love my New Year's resolutions is to play more video games, to spend more time with the EGI2 family, and to play a co-op game with Robbie.
So when you say co-op games, you're thinking of sort of four-player co-op games, something like Left 4 Dead, or what's the digging one that people are really into these days?
What?
The Rock. I think it's called Rock World, or what?
Yeah,
it's sort of like if Borderlands was all in caves.
Yeah, I'd love to play a Borderlands in Caves kind of a couch co-op game with just Robbie and Allan on a couch. And maybe we wouldn't stream it, but we would share a couch, and I would even make a snack that we could come to my house, or I could come to your house. We could sit on the couch and.
It's called Deep Rock Galactic. Thank you so much for Vertical Mammal in the chat. It's Deep Rock Galactic. It's a 4-player co-op game. It's fantastic. If you love looter shooters, if you love going underground, if you love exploring the underside of a different, if you want to see a different world, there's no better way to see a different world than to see the underside of the world that you may or may not, you may be on or you might not be on.
Thank you so much for the chat, for correcting me in the chat. And I just want a quick question before we get going on EGI2 Stream 5. What is that on? You have a bigger stream deck, I noticed.
Yeah, so we got a bigger stream deck here on EGI2 Stream 5. One of the wonderful, if you can see that, there's 32 buttons. We'll count that live right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then times 4. So we do see that we do have a 32 button stream deck now. On EGI2 EGI2 headquarters on the main desk, but Allan, you still have your stream deck.
Yes,
I believe.
Yes.
And you're still. We've of course limited the amount of buttons that you can press on that.
You've taken away
for stream number 5. So we've taken away some buttons, and we've added more to mine. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. I can't really get mine into the shot because the USB cord is tugging. It's small.
Right, so we can.
But I will say that I've noticed right off the bat you've removed all of my fun buttons that have fun pictures.
Well, back to you, Allan, and we are live on EGI2 _2 twitch.tv/EGI_2. And Allan, your New Year's resolutions.
Yes.
I'll say my New Year's resolutions.
Okay, great.
Which is the same New Year's resolution I've had since I believe 2011, which is to beat Skyrim.
You haven't beat Skyrim?
I still haven't beat Skyrim. And
Why?
Because I haven't beat Skyrim,
Why?
Because I have been busy playing different games, and when I come back to Skyrim, I find that I've sort of lost my bearings a little bit. It always takes me a little bit of time to figure out something, and I always find something new to do. And now that I do have the Steam Deck, then it's easy for me to go back and what I've been doing is just mining, crafting, learning, and grinding a bit. So it's sort of having a bit of a grind-a-thon in Skyrim, and I think that I think that by the end of this year, 2024, with everything that's happening in the world, the one thing that I can really focus on and grounds me where I stand is the fact that I do believe I will be able to beat Skyrim and also finish Allan Moore's Jerusalem.
And a big welcome to any new viewers to EGI_2 on Twitch. Please enjoy the show. This is a show where you get to experience the mind of Robbie and all the kinds of interesting things that pop into his head, and he kind of verbalizes that through his mouth, and we get to hear it, and we are quite lucky. So thank you for joining us.
Back to you, Allan. Thank you for that special introduction to the show. We are, of course, EGI2 Stream 5 is, of course, sponsored tonight by FrameGride.
Yay.
FrameGride, the wonderful and fantastic and innovative mech arena combat game from the year, at the end of the year, at the end of the 21st century, people said, if we could make somehow the hype train and coming, the FrameGride hype train, the first FrameGride hype train is happening right now. So press all the buttons, click all the links, and the hype train must happen. Whatever happens at the end of the hype train, we'll find out. Maybe we'll get to past the first hype train, then we go to the second hype train, on.
What is a hype train?
And what people are responding to, of course, is the fact that FrameGride is our EGI2 Stream 5 sponsor tonight, as well as mini gaming desktop PCs that cost around $800. People are excited about these wonderful, compact, well-designed machines that can play AAA open world games on high settings at up to 1080p, up to 4K, 60 frames per second and beyond. For a small form factor, it's hard to.
Robbie?
Yes.
So FrameGride, they signed on to sponsor the show,
and we've got up to 99%. We're on level 2. We're level 2 of the hype train. Thank you,
awesome.
EGI2, and
thank you so much.
Giovan H is gifting subs to the community.
Thank
we're
you.
Giving out subs. We're rebuilding the show from the ground up. We're getting the Stream Decks are getting bigger and bigger.
I really would love to get even just see your Steam Deck, the OLED Steam Deck, and see Skyrim in with the deep, dark, inky blacks would be quite nice.
And maybe you could change some of your New Year's resolutions, Allan, to get that hype train, which is now at level 2 to level 3, and we can find out what is at the end of the train. If it's a caboose, maybe it's a caboose with the golden goose.
I would love to revise my New Year's resolution. My New Year's resolution is to get to a level 3 hype train.
Yes.
And I don't know how to do that or what it means.
So you press all the buttons, and you engage in the absolutely required and it's a kind of historic. It's a kind of a patronage system. It's gone back for as long as there has been video game news in the world. There's been people that have been willing to support the video game news with no advertisers, except of course for FrameGride and mini gaming desktops. But the fact of the matter is that we do require that people support the program in whatever way that they can muster, whether it is hyping us. So we're down to buzz, and we are now at level 4 to 3. We did it. We're back at the hype.
That's my New Year's resolution came true.
The New Year's resolution came true. So we're level 2 complete. So now we go to level 3.
I want level 3.
We do want Vertical Mammal is giving away one tier subs. Level 3 is already up to 40%.
What was my resolution?
What were we talking about before? What was your New Year's resolution?
I think it was to get a level 3 hype train.
But before that, it was who wanted to play Deep Rock Galactic with perhaps me and some of the other wonderful friends of the show. Stephen Kick could come in and play Deep Rock Galactic. If we get to, and of course, if we get to 1,000 followers by the end of the evening or 500 subs, then we will be able to give away the candle that has been placed on the desk.
How many subs?
That I have allowed 500 subs or what 1,000 followers?
I think it was 1,000. No, now I think you're moving the goalpost. Sound off in the chat if anyone remembers what the goal was for the sexual candle holder, and I do make those.
We do want to get rid of the candle holder. It's an ugly thing. It's hideous. It's disgusting. It's something that is
1,000 followers.
Off-brand.
1,000 followers.
But we will get rid of it for the love for the love of my dear friend Allan,
We
I
do-
will allow
Yay.
the sexual candle holder to be placed on the host's desk. And maybe
Yeah,
we could just cover it up a little bit with the hand, and so if you don't want to see if you want to see the candle holder, and you want to sound off in the chat, then I can cover up my hand. I can leave it here
Robbie,
for as long as possible.
You don't need
So-
to cover with your hand. Twitch has revised its policies on sexual content. We can show sexuality and sexual content on Twitch without getting strikes or bans. And it actually is a way to incentivize viewerships because sexuality is broadly popular amongst the cohort of viewers that we have.
We got 100 purple toucans. Cody Fancy Pants has given away toucans for 100.
Toucans.
And first time chat, thank you both for
Thank
your
you.
contributions of science. You can't spell candle without Allan, and that's fundamentally. Is it fundamentally wrong, or is it? How do you spell candle?
C-A-N-D-L-E.
And you spell Allan
A-L-L-E.
A-L-L-E.
No.
Okay, so level 3 hype train is up to 79% now that we do realize that some of the letters in candle are also the same letters that spell Allan.
That is so cool, and I never realized that
And
my
we
name
are,
is.
and now
Oh,
we're up to
yay,
a
my
five
New Year's
level four,
resolution.
we are having
Happy
Gun Gun Pixie has gifted tiered
Gun
subs.
Pixie.
We're giving
Thank
is
you.
giving out tiered subs.
Wow.
Is it tiered? As you giving out gifts of tiered subs, an unbelievable show of support for EGI2 Stream 5. We are, in fact, building the show back, and it feels good to be back here in 2024 on the EGI2 twitch.tv/EGI.
Twitch.tv/_2. But people who tune in, they should subscribe with their Prime. I don't really know what this is, but they don't watch the show just to hear about how Twitch works.
Right. Well, people watch because people, and they're trying. And the fact of the matter is, Allan, is that they've always been trying to silence us, and they won't silence. They didn't silence us in They silenced us for a couple of years, but they didn't silence us in 2023, and they won't silence us again in 2024.
Coming into 2024, roaring into 2024 like a lion roaring into the new year.
And so, Allan, let's go ahead and break in this brand new stream number 5. Stream 5, EGI2, Stream 5, New Year's 2024. My resolution is to beat Skyrim. Chat, if you've got a resolution, I'm going to look at the chat for about 10 seconds here. And if I don't, and I hopefully will see someone else's
Level 4
resolution
hype train.
pop in. So it gets the level 5 to
Let's
the level
do it.
5 hype train. We will, if someone tells us to what their New Year's resolution is in the chat, maybe we get to the hype train.
Chucky
I'm going to
Flans.
finish Outward.
Chucky-
So Outward, Cold
Oh.
is the best for mold. Never saw Body Harvest on the N64. Finish Body Harvest on the N64. Absolutely crucial for your understanding of DMA design, which did in fact become, I believe, Rockstar North.
I don't know. Chucky Flans
So
says, Robbie,
89% of the level 4 in the hype train is
that
at
stick
89%, stuck at 89%. Where mine is to make something as genius as the candle holder. Well, whiny little wormy, must say that your dreams could come true if you made things that were emblematic of, I think, some of the worst instincts of human nature, when in fact what we should be striving for is a greater meditation on consciousness and the expanse of human imagination. And I guess
Totally.
you could say in some ways that this is a reflection of some kind of imagination, but it is also a mirror. It's a mirror image of where our urges and our dark urges take us away from the light of God. Allan.
and I would like to just read a comment I've been trying to
So
read.
we're up to 100% on the level 4 hype train has been
Yay!
Spartan, and we are making
did
our
it.
way back to the project at hand, Allan.
Okay, I will now read the comment. Chucky Flan has written, and this was a while ago they wrote it. Robbie, please let Allan sit on the side of your set with you back to you, Robbie.
Back to you,
Oh,
Allan.
let,
and of
let me
course,
sit with you back to you, Robbie.
Back to you,
Can
Allan.
I sit with you?
What?
Can I sit on the
No,
side?
you can't. There's
okay.
only one chair over here.
Got it.
So we can't sit, unfortunately, because of the way the studio is laid out. And of course, because in the sort of the narrative that we're trying to develop here with the show is that Allan is on the street, he's on the scene, he's separate from the host, he's on his own, he's a renegade, he's out there, akimbo knife. He's kimbing. He's got the knife.
I don't know what that means.
And he's
Well,
you're
it sounds
defending
bad.
the truth, Allan, is what we're doing. So I'm in here. I'm sort of the guy. You know how when you play Magic: The Gathering,
No.
and you think about, what are we actually doing here? What are these cards actually? Well, in fact, you are dueling sorcerers. So I am the sorcerer, you're the magic card, and the chat is the mana.
I'm the card?
You're the card.
I don't understand why you keep saying I'm on the street. I'm in a little room.
But it's a street is a euphemism, of course, for the fact that you're on you're always on the watch. You undistracted by the fancy lights and the cooler temperatures and the cleaner filtered air. You are out there making deals with the devil to get to the truth as to what we are here to the truth that I require to tell. You tell me the truth, and I tell the truth to the world.
Okay.
And then we have a discussion.
The truth is, I love Robbie. Back to you, Robbie.
Back to you, Allan, and of course you are always appreciated. Your work is always, whenever we have to take a break, your work is always missed, but we always find some way to fill the time with something that's just as valuable. But I will say with that your presence is invaluable, even if sometimes the information that you bring to the scene is replaceable.
But the I in EGI stands for information.
Right. And if it was TGI, it would be truth. If it was EGI, is it EGI 2? So the T in 2, because you can't spell 2 without T, could be truth.
Oh, okay. So it stands for. Well, I don't know what the E or the G
So
stands.
EGI,
Information.
So the EGI doesn't stand for anything.
But
The T in 2 stands for truth.
And the I you did confirm stands for information.
No, it doesn't stand for anything. It's just It's just nonsense. Nonsense. You've heard it here first. This just in breaking news. EGI in EGI 2 stands for nothing, but the T in the 2 in EGI 2 does stand for truth.
You have a lot more buttons on.
Yes, so there's 32 buttons on the Steam Deck
and they all do different things.
They all and we. So we're up to 34% on the level, and the hype train is 34%, stuck on 34% on 4, tree or 4, and we are making. If we can get to 5, we will be on track to being on our way to 6. I believe is how the numbers work.
Yeah.
And it's always fun when you tune into a show and they have to take a break from actually doing the show to just list out the numbers in a hype train.
And has the show started?
No.
Well, okay, let me know when it does, because
Okay.
I'll be ready.
So the show starts now with funny video game news. Everybody's been excited about the funny video game news. It's the first funny video game news of 2024. Allan, are you excited to see what funny video game news?
Starting the new
funny
year
video
off
game
right.
news 2024 brings so the old man is gone and the baby has come out of the hole. The old man has fallen into the grave.
The old man is gone and the baby's come out of the hole.
And the baby has popped out of the clouds and is carried with it in hand. The baby with the heralding of the new year comes the funny video game of 2024. Are you ready for this, Allan? Are you ready to laugh? Chat,
I'm always
if you're ready to
ready.
laugh,
Sound off.
we want to be careful. We want to get that hype train up to 5 if we
5.
can. Only 10 seconds left.
10 seconds.
Probably
come
not
on,
going to happen,
please.
but wouldn't it be fun if it got all the way to 5? Just as the funny video game news
People are
crested
cracking up.
over, much like the
100
charge
bits.
of the Light Brigade.
People are cracking up in the chat already.
So we've got a hype train success we got to level 5.
Wow, we did
somehow.
it. No,
we were at level 5.
No.
Level 5, of course, the wonderful producers of games like Dark Cloud 2.
What's Peggy 5?
Peggy 5 is Baby 5.
Okay.
So funny video game news starts now, and the first funny video game news comes to us.
They're laughing in the chat. Choo choo.
Are we missing a slide?
Don't show
First
it.
funny video game news of the night comes to us from, of course, Democratic Alliance leader of South Africa, John Steenhuisen. And the funny video game news is, of course, on the title screen, tap up, down, left, down, right, up. Then tap the shoulder buttons, LR, LR. And bam, one of the best secret bonuses in video game history. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? The Democratic Alliance of South Africa, the leader of the Democratic Alliance of South African, John Steenhuisen.
Go on.
The Afrikaans. It's hard sometimes with these. It's a language barrier, and we try to be respectful as we can. But honestly, that's a complicated language, Allan.
I'm not making fun of the way anybody talks.
Absolutely not. Nobody. And the Democratic Alliance, of course, is going into a rough year with the general election of head Cyril Ramaphosa, and the ANC, of course. Having mismanaged the economy so poorly down in that great country, South Africa, is probably still going to pull out a win. But the fact of the matter is that John Steenhuisen and the Jane Alliance, Democratic Alliance, is nipping at their heels as they have been for the last 30 years since the end of apartheid and the beginning of the multiracial democracy in the great country of South Africa.
Our thoughts
and
are
of
with
course,
you.
what we see, John, in the funny video game news is that John Steenhuisen, of course, is talking about the unlock code for the entire original Clockwork Knight game in the U.S. release of Clockwork Knight 2. So if you can believe it.
I don't believe it.
Imagine yourself fresh as a child coming down the Christmas ladder in the morning and finding underneath the tree Clockwork Knight 2, and then tapping in those the funny video game news, funny video game news. Funny video game news. This sequence of buttons, and all of a sudden you have just found out that your purchase is the purchase that Santa Claus or the Saint Nicholas or whomever has given you is in fact not one game, but 2 games. And maybe it was from a parent or a grandparent. We just don't have that information with us, but what we do have is funny video game news.
Oh, that's great. That is so fun.
So, Allan, of course, people have been saying that this Clockwork Knight code has been lost to time and is just now rearing its head back into the cultural consciousness. But I do recall looking and finding that code was in fact discovered back in the mid to late 90s.
Oh, really?
Clockwork Knight 2 originally came out.
Oh, that's so great.
So that's funny video game news. First funny video games news of the evening. Thank you, John Steenhuisen, and good luck with the general election this year.
Good luck
next
to
up,
you.
Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster Gate, Rune, and Dunin Unification Wars is in the news.
Yes.
For Allan, Allan?
Yes?
Oh, there he is. Allan, funny video game news about Suikoden 1 and 2. Gate, Rune, and Dunin Unification Wars comes to the funny video game news of the Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster. Comes to us from none other than Ursula von der Leyen, the 13th president of the European Convention. 100 Stars of Destiny, 27 true ruins. Imagine the possibilities. And we all know that that's funny because...
Because I'm ready.
Because the amount of characters that you can... in Suikoden 1 and 2 that you can... Exactly. So in Suikoden 1, it's up to 107 characters can join your party in the same way. And if you think about the European Union as a whole, a kind of a union of disparate states brought together in the post-war period.
That's how I think of it.
And as many states as many states are one.
As many states
being
one.
the European Union, so are the many party members that you can recruit in Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster Gate Rune.
My eyes.
Gate Rune and Dunin and the Wars.
Gotta wake up.
So next up, funny video game news is of course Metal Gear Solid: The Master Collection Volume 1. Allan,
it's really funny, Robbie.
it's already funny. We're already laughing. Solid Snake's already laughing just thinking about the funny video game news.
Laugh in the chat.
Who's bringing us the
Laugh in
funny
the
video
chat.
game news of Metal Gear Solid Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1? Well, none other than former Mayor of New Orleans, Mitch Landrieu. Let's hope, and the funny video game news from Mitch is, let's hope Volume 2 gives us the collection we all know we deserve, one that includes the Twin Snakes, the PSP Acid series, Portable Ops, Peace Walker, and Ghost Babel. Ghost Babel, of course, on the Game Boy Color, the classic and often overlooked Game Boy Color Metal Gear Solid Metal Gear game. Alan,
I would never overlook.
that's funny video.
Yay!
And
We love it.
And he wasn't done with that. So
No.
Mitch Landrieu went on to say, and while we're at it, let's get those digital graphic novels and some quality of life improvements like different filters and graphics customization. I'd love to play Peace Walker on modern hardware with an unlocked frame rate and then show it off to my sister Mary Landrieu, of course, the former United States Senator, Allan.
Yes. Oh my gosh!
And
what a career she had.
And my spouse Cheryl next Christmas, and that jumped
Cheryl?
out to me, Allan, because
why are we talking
is
about
that? Is that the same? We know that there's been a Cheryl in your past lately. Is that the same? Is Cheryl Landrieu the Cheryl of your life?
That wasn't that's a different Cheryl.
My
That's a
understanding is
coincidence.
that
I don't
it
want
could,
to talk about that.
my understanding is that is it possible, Allan, that in the interim period between EGI and EGI 2 that you not dated, but involved yourself with the former mayor of New Orleans and governor of Louisiana,
Right.
Mitch Landrieu's spouse, Cheryl.
As far as I know, we're talking about two completely different Cheryls.
All right.
And
It just seems like there's a lot of
There's a lot of Cheryls.
synchronicity in this story, and I'm just trying to, you've been a little bit tight-lipped about the situation, so I just want to try and see if I can massage that out for you, so we don't
There's
end
a
up.
lot of important relationships that people have in their lives, and I will just say there's only one important relationship that I have in my life, and it is with Robbie, and it's with EGI2, and any other relationships I have had or am currently having are of no significance or emotional significance, and I blocked Cheryl's number, and I'm just here. I'm all on board, and I'm all ears. I'm all steam ahead with the EGI2 and nothing else. Does that track?
And that's the funny video game news. So if you're just joining us, if you're just tuning in to EGI2, we're doing funny video game news. This is the
Fuck
funniest
me.
video game news brought to you live on twitch.tv/EGI_2, brought to you by FrameGride, and of course, mini gaming desktops that cost around $800. If you're looking to pack a lot of punch and power into a small form factor,
Robbie.
look no further than mini gaming desktops.
So did the mini desktop people actually reach out to you? Or?
No one has reached out to anybody about anything except we will continue to press the issue that we are looking for some kind of a sponsorship, patronage from mini gaming desktops companies, or maybe Bitmap Books. I don't know.
I formally commit myself and my emotional energy to EGI2 and to no one else, and I love Robbie, and I don't love anybody else.
Okay, and that's so. If you imagine Mitch Landrieu saying all these things about the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2, and of course you'll notice that I don't know if you noticed this little. This is a little bit of an Easter egg here. That when you go from this slide, when you go from
I'm trying to see it.
this slide to when you go to this slide to this slide, you'll notice that the former mayor of New Orleans title disappears, and you get and you also get the former.
Do it again.
Former coordinator for the IIJA, which is, of course, the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, the bipartisan infrastructure bill that made its way through Congress, despite so many desperate people thinking that the ability for Congress to get anything of substantial quality completed.
American Congress, or?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Because he worked. Mitch Landrieu, of course, the subject of the funny video game news about Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1
Hilarious.
was in fact coordinating the dispersal of all of that funding from the IIGA to the various projects around the country.
I get it. That's super funny.
So that's funny video game news. The next funny video game news slide is now. Tekken 8 has made its way into funny video game news, and you can imagine you can only imagine what Tekken 8 might have. You can only imagine what's so funny about Tekken 8, Allan.
Is Tekken 8 the new one that's coming out?
Tekken 8 is the new one that's coming out. So Tekken 7 is currently the reigning Tekken, and not to, you guessed it, Senator Tim Scott, who refuses to play any Tekken games unless they bring back the secret character Gon.
How do you do that?
The secret character Gon, of course, from Tekken 3, the playable dinosaur, the angry little dinosaur that beat and bashed its way all the way through the Jurassic period to comic books worldwide, to our hearts, and into, of course, Tekken 3 for Legend.
And Tim Scott said that.
And Tim Scott said that. He said he refuses to play any. I'm not playing another bloody game in this accursed series until they bring back Gon.
It does sound like the way he talks.
So sorry about the presidential campaign, Tim Scott. It wasn't time for you, maybe one day they'll bring Gon back as a DLC for one of 20 DLC packages we can assume that they'll have for Tekken 8, and you can see that as a sign that maybe your time has come, but in fact. But also, we'll see what happens. It's a big year for politics, Allan.
As always, it is a big year. All politics is local.
And all politics is local, so let's not get into it. But let's get into our final bit of funny video game news, which is just
Lord.
Rahul Gandhi, the leader of the Indian National Congress.
What are you doing,
in the Lok Sabha, the lower house of parliament, just saying "Last Bronx." So that's hilarious because he's just saying "Last Bronx."
And that is so funny.
Because he's talking, of course, about the often overlooked late Sega AM2 fighting game, Last Bronx, that made its way. That was such a big hit in arcades, and I made a minor splash when it came to the Sega Saturn because people didn't think it would be able to run on the Sega Saturn. But of course, what they did was similar to what they did with the Virtua Fighter 2 for the Sega Saturn, which was take out all of the 3D backgrounds.
Bravo, good sir.
And replace them with parallax.
Oh, they did?
Yes. So that's funny video game news. And let's open up the phone calls and let's hear about funny video game news from the people out there in the EGI2 family at large. Funny video game news is always. It's always great to see what people are thinking is funny video game news out there outside of the EGI2 studio. So phone lines are open. We thank you to Arachnophobia Kid for subscribing for 2 months. That's a 2 month streak on for Prime. It's incredible
what you did.
The chat.
Thank you.
It's incredible to see what people are thinking, what people are saying, and what people are doing.
Let them talk.
Who is it? Hello, you're on the air with EGI2. Who are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Vermont. I'm outside in the 20-degree weather, just so I can get reception to call you. Big fan of the show.
God Almighty, it must be cold up there at this time of year. What is your funny video game news up there from the Green Mountain state of Vermont?
Well, I was thinking it was really funny that they remastered a video game a couple years back, Grim Fandango remastered.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been a fan of that game, and it's just so funny that they would remaster such a good game.
Okay, but who said it?
Believe it was.
Who's the governor? All right, here. Where in Vermont are you?
I'm up here in the mountains, in sort of southern Vermont here.
All right, so southern Vermont. So who's your congressman or congressperson?
I don't know about that. I can look that up and get back to you.
Okay. All right. So who's the governor of Vermont?
I'll look that up real quick.
Okay, so who? Give you another. All right, who is the current president of the United States?
Joe Biden.
So Joe Biden says, heard that this is how you do the funny video game news. Joe Biden says, I heard they remastered Grim Fandango for, let's say, and put it on the PS Vita.
Uh-oh.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
I
heard
that, and
they
that's
put
what was
Grim Fandango on
really
the PS Vita.
That's funny.
Vita means life, but Grim
doubled over and
Fandango
laughed
takes
at.
place in a world of death. So, and that's how you do. That's
That's so good, Robbie.
So that's just off the top of your head. So thank you for your call. We got another someone
Thank you
on
so
hold.
much.
Keep warm out there in the Green Mountain State of Vermont. Even if you are in the south, where it's a little bit closer. It sounds like you're more in New Hampshire-ish area. But I won't judge. We don't judge those kinds of things out here. Also, Massachusetts. How do they say it? Massachusetts. Anyway, so we've got another phone call on the air. Who are you? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Robbie. It's Cody from Florida.
Cody from Florida. Always good. Great state of Florida, and always a great font of font of funny video game news. What's the funny video game news from Florida?
Okay, I got a good one for you, Allan and Robbie. Oh man, I got a good one, guys.
Oh boy.
Okay, you guys ready? Are you ready to hear it?
Yes.
Can you hear me, Robbie?
Yes, I can hear you. Cody.
I can hear you.
Okay, so a lot of they've been remaking a lot of fighting games. Right now I'm looking at King of Fighters 2002 Unlimited match.
Absolutely.
And
it's already
so
hilarious, Allan.
I'm getting ready to
SNK,
crack up.
Sign me up. Sign me up to laugh.
So
gut busting stuff.
They've been releasing all these fighting games with rollback now, right? You know, rollback netcode.
Yes, of course.
I know.
You know, it helps reduce lag time when you're playing one-on-one fighting games, and they've just been implementing this a lot.
It's similar to frame skip, which emulators use, Allan.
I knew that.
Software emulation.
Yeah, I know.
Got it.
So they're adapting it, and I come from Florida, so my governor is Ron DeSantis, right? And he's been
presidential candidate Ron DeSantis. He's in a tough spot, folks. He's lagging in the polls, and he's in Iowa and New Hampshire. And he's got something funny to say about the
funny
SNK
news?
2001, 2002.
well, that's funny because he's been lagging in the polls, that's kind of funny. It's kind of relating to what I'm about to say.
You heard it here first. That's breaking news. Ron DeSantis is lagging in the polls, and SNK fighting games are lagging on online pay. That is fun video game news. But let's
you say the
so here's the punchline. I bet Ron.
I'm letting him talk.
No, you're talking.
You're
talking.
Stop
You're
yelling
talking.
at me. I'm trying
Let him talk.
I bet Ron DeSantis wishes he could roll back his last term as mayor because he's been messing up.
Except he was governor.
I mean, as the governor of Florida, that.
So that's funny video game news. That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Oh
that is
my
100%
God.
funny video game news. Thank you for your call,
Thank you
Cody
for your
from
call.
Florida.
Too bad about that
Let's
mayor.
Thanks.
hear from the next caller. We thank you for your call. Stay warm down there in Florida. Because a lot of cold shoulders is what I'm trying to say. People are turning the cold shoulder on the state of Florida because of Mr. DeSantis and his lagging SNK fighting games.
But Grand Theft Auto 6 takes place in Florida, so the news is good for Florida.
So you heard it here first. Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be taking place in. Does it take place in Florida? Or is Vice City? Is Vice City in Florida?
Yes, it is a fictional like Miami, but it's the whole state of Florida.
But is it?
Game.
But you know how it's San Andreas is a stand-in for California. Do they have a kind of San Andreas pseudonym?
They do. I don't know it. Sound off in the chat if you know what they call Florida.
Hello, you're on the air with EGI2 Funny Video Game News. Who are you? Where are you calling from?
It's me. Sammy from December. Remember?
What do you got on the Funny Video Game News front there?
Yeah. I just think. Okay, so this is about. I just wondering if we're ever going to do a review on Frame Guide because Frame Guide is just so awesome. I just think Frame Guide is the best game that has frames and guides in it.
But who said it? What newsmaker said that the thing that you just said is hilarious? But what we need to make it funny video game news is that one of the new newsmakers. I'll give you an example here. So in funny video game news, Rahul Gandhi is caught on a live hot mic, just
This is so funny.
exclaiming
so
"Last
funny.
Bronx."
That is so funny.
The Democratic Alliance leader from South Africa, John Steenhuisen, gives you the full code for unlocking Clockwork Knight in Clockwork Knight 2.
So
the
funny.
thing that you just said about
Frame grind.
frame ride is hilarious.
think frame.
But
who
to be
said it?
funny video game news, we need a person of note.
Where are you from,
Making-
caller?
It's me, Sammy,
It's Sam.
From? What
from
state?
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah.
So, Robbie, North
Mhm.
Carolina.
Famous governor of North Carolina,
I'll Google it.
Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom.
Not that one. The other one. Ben?
Governor of North.
Well, don't look it
Governor
up.
of North Carolina.
Well, that's
Why? Don't. No. Stop listening. Shoot.
well, now you looked it up, so you got.
It's not a search. It didn't work yet, so you still have time. Governor of North Carolina. Robbie, you know this. You know this.
What is it, Robbie? What's the answer, Robbie?
I'll give you a
What's
hint.
the
Roy.
answer?
Roy Cooper. It's Roy Cooper from the governor of North Carolina. Roy
That's
Cooper.
funny. That's funny.
So,
So funny.
Sammy, let's hear it from the top. Roy Cooper, current governor, against all odds, by the way.
I know.
He keeps squeezing out those wins.
Good
Even though
job.
North Carolina goes one way, people vote for Roy Cooper the other way. Sammy, let's hear your Roy Cooper funny video game news. Go.
Frame grind.
So
Okay. The frame. I think
You got
I
it.
just. Like you said, the frame grind is the best game with frames and grinds in it, and I think that is very funny.
Allan?
Because you could imagine.
Because you can imagine Roy
Cooper's-
Cooper.
That's why. That's what's cracking me up.
That's what, and that is why. And then, Sammy, thank you for sticking with us. But it's always good to just get as many lessons as to what funny video game news, how it works, what it is, how we. And EGI2 is willing to take the time to bring you the funny video game news as required by the rules set out by EGI2.
And that's why we love EGI. There's so many rules.
So thank you for your call, Sammy from North Carolina. We've got one more. We'll have time for one more funny video game news. Caller, you're on the air with EGI2. Let's hear who you are, where you're from.
Back to you, Robbie. Back to you, Allan. It's friend of the show.
Caller.
Friend of the show, Scott from Pittsburgh.
It's Scott
it's
from
Scott from
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh,
Wonderful.
friend of the
It's the famous thing they say about Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, James Carville. The thing, Alabama.
Well, no rules.
No rules, Pittsburgh. No rules, Pittsburgh. So, what is the funny video? Tell us, the Scott from Pittsburgh. What is the funny video game news from Pittsburgh?
Well, the funny video game news from Pittsburgh is that Mayor Ed Gainey recently tweeted that he was looking to buy a link cable for his Game Boy so he could play Pokemon with his friends.
Oh my God, that is so good.
So, wait, say it again.
Say it again. Say it one more time.
So Mayor Ed Gainey of Pittsburgh recently tweeted out that he was looking for a link cable he could buy so he could play Pokemon with his friends on Game Boy.
So the way the funny video game news would in fact be structured is that Mayor Gainey from Pittsburgh would of course be he was caught. The funny video game news of the link.
He was caught.
So the first slide would be link cables for the Game Boy, Game Boy Advance.
Yes.
Color.
Game Boy Advance.
Let's say Game Boy Advance. So
Okay.
link cable for Game Boy Advance. Picture of link cable for the Game Boy Advance. Why is link cable for the Game Boy Advance in the funny video game news? It's because Mayor Gainey from Pittsburgh was caught on a hot mic requesting from a reporter that he share a link cable so that him and the reporter could play the Pokemon games. That's funny video.
I want to hit the button.
Okay.
Well,
I want to hit the button.
Can I redeem myself?
You say it and I'll hit the button. Caller, go.
Well, I have breaking news, Allan.
What breaking
Breaking news. I hit the button. I did it. Breaking news button. Go for it.
Well, Allan, if you would be so kind to look at, electronic game information Gmail, I sent a spreadsheet that I think Robbie would maybe take a look at, because I'm not into games so much, but I've been drinking a lot of coffee, and it's this amazing Nespresso spreadsheet.
Oh, okay. Oh, we're looking at it.
Wow. So we do see
Okay, we see it, but we can't show to you.
We can't. I don't think we have
Look
the
at that.
ability
you've
in
color
this
well,
current
okay,
format.
we're gonna get this on air somehow. You've
I can't take credit for this spreadsheet. I wish that I could, but I did find it in the streets to send to you.
It's so nice.
So we'll post that. We'll have that. The Cape Town. Speaking of Cape Town, speaking of South Africa, we do have the Cape Town in Vivo Lungo. Roastiness, woody, and what's the funny video game news about the Nespresso spreadsheet?
And look at that.
You're putting me on the spot, and I can't think of it, but I would love to thank you and Allan for hugging it out.
Oh,
because we need more love and hugs like that.
And going into this rat bastard of a year, 2024, I think that we're going to need much more hugs and understanding as we go forth.
Absolutely.
I'd like to think of this year as more of like a remastered Y2K, like a part 24, a remastered Y2K part 24.
So it's sort of like NFL 2K24. 220. It's NFL.
That's almost funny video game news in itself.
Yes. So 2K24 is the
Look at that spreadsheet.
Y2K is out. Y2K24 is in, and of course the T in all of those twos stands for
Truth.
Truth. That's right.
Truth.
Truth. There's more. We have enough bad people in the world. We need more good people, and we need as much funny video game news as we can provide to ourselves. Since no one else, as far as I know, is providing funny video game news on Twitch.
No one else is talking about this. And I just want to thank the caller for this wonderful spreadsheet of coffee spreadsheet. Let's just
well, back to you, Allan. You're very welcome.
Thank you so much.
Back to you, Scott from Pittsburgh, and good luck out there and everyone who's living in a swing state this year.
Well, I love you and Allan, and back to you both. And if I could get a close up of the sexual candle holder, I'd just be ecstatic.
We can do that. Yes, we can do that.
All right, that's enough.
So there it is with your spreadsheet.
All right,
you
so
can imagine drinking coffee
that's
and
funny
just kind
video.
of
Okay, that
looking
was
at this
funny
and lighting
video
these
news.
candles, and maybe you invite someone over and you can have fun. Do whatever happens.
Oh, I could just imagine lighting that and blowing it out and then lighting it and blowing it out and then lighting it, and just like maybe for like the length of a stream.
That would be nice. I think people would like to enjoy.
The problem with the candles is that you get melted wax all over them, and then it goes from looking, problematic to unspeakable.
Well, that's a choice for the owner of the candle, because you can get dripless candles, or you could get colored candles. If the colored candles fell onto the face, it would just look like maybe paint or something. But if you did use white wax and a dripping candle, that would be kind of an interesting look. Or you could do yellow, and that would be sort of a pea kind of look, a pissing look, if that was the kind of
Nobody was mad about those wine bottles that people dripped wax back down in the day. So I don't think they should be mad about this candle holder.
Soup Master in the chat says some candles can drip upwards, and I would if we could figure that out, how to make those candles in this candle holder drip upwards, or maybe just make the candle holder disappear entirely. That would be
only one way to
fabulous.
Make the candle disappear.
The only way we get to do that is, of course, if we hit 1,000 followers and or 500 subscribers in the next 2 hours, Allan.
I know this is an ongoing project. When it happens, but we'd love to do it quick.
We would love to get this out as quickly as possible. A lot of.
Then we could get that frame grad candle holder.
Scott from Pittsburgh, thank you for your call. We got to hang up on you, and we will be back with the phone lines will be open again shortly. But before we go any further, Allan, I do believe that we have something special cooking up from Allan Resnick on
Yay.
EGI2
Okay.
here tonight.
Yes.
EGI2 Stream 5.
Let me get ready.
Stream 5. No one else is talking about this. And I think you know exactly what I'm talking about, Allan, which is, of course,
There it is.
Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. And it's on
The Wii U.
It's on the Wii U.
I have a special report.
Take it away, Allan. You have the
Just trying to get my
truth. You have the shield.
I have a special report.
We have a special report.
So I'm just going to read this and bear with me because I have to hold the report and the presentation. I don't know why I couldn't get my presentation into the Steam Stream Deck. But so here it is, my special report on Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. Welcome. Hello gamers. Welcome to my special report on one of the most remarkable games for the Nintendo Wii U, Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. This game is very much worth playing, even after 11 years since its release. Why, you ask? Keep listening. Ninja
Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge.
Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's
Cody Fancy Pants in the chat says, of course. Now, and so this is, I'm guessing, Allan, this is this is a kind of a way to sort of look back at the classic Ninja Gaiden games. This is sort of it's part of your method of sort of using symbolism and referencing old materials so that we have a foundation of media. What's up with why?
Recently, this short.
So Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge on the Wii U is related to the Steamboat Willie, because in the way that Ninja Gaiden, the original Ninja Gaiden trilogy, is related to the current the HD trilogy.
Yeah. Yes, you got it. Yes, and I think people are interested in this as well. I think it's a way people will be attracted to the stream once they see that such a popular character is officially licensed to be on our stream.
Ryu Hayabusa?
We'll get to it. Let me do my report, please. Don't interrupt. Okay. Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge is not just a port from the original Ninja Gaiden 3 that was released on PS3 and Xbox 360 in 2012. It is a complete overhaul that fixes many of the flaws and adds a lot of new content and features. And this makes it the definitive version of the game, sure to tantalize players lucky enough to grab a copy. One of the main reasons why this game is so pleasurable to the person playing the game is the combat system, which is fast, fluid, and challenging. Okay.
But not as challenging, of course, as the previous two Ninja Gaiden games in that sort of more modern trilogy, because those games, of course, were headed by the Mr. Itagaki.
Let me get to it.
Got it.
Let me get to it. So let me say that again: fast, fluid, and challenging.
So that's Mirror's Edge.
Oh shit. You play as Ryu. I don't know how to say the last name. Ryu Hayabusa. You play as Ryu Hayabusa, the legendary ninja who can wield a variety of weapons, each with its own moves and combos. That does sound fun. You can also use a ninpo. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Which is a powerful magic attack that can decimate your enemies.
Absolutely. And we remember, of course, the wonderful magic attacks from the Shinobi series. And those were very, of course, those had sort of a meter on them, whereas the ones in the Ninja Gaiden games were originally pickups. But now in the current, in Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge on the Nintendo Wii U, they are.
And you call they're ninpo attacks, which you call, and you say that's the current Ninja Gaiden game.
Well, there's Yaiba Ninja Gaiden Z, but I don't think people consider that part of that.
Absolutely not. The
Right,
game rewards
pantheon.
you for your skill and your timing as you perform devastating techniques such as the flying swallow, the obliteration technique, the steel on bone, which are satisfying to execute and fun to watch. I like that, steel on bone. When the enemy character, this is quite interesting.
Yes.
When the enemy character is devastated by a flying swallow, they shake and moan on the ground until they release what is known as a powerful death scream. Which indicates a deep completion and transition of the NPC soul from the virtual world of the game to the real heaven that we go to.
We as in W-I-I, we?
No, we, W-E. You and I, if we're good, we go to the real, there's a real heaven that people who have done good go to. And the NPC characters in your games who you kill, if they are deserving of reward, they also will go to real heaven.
And you visit, and in the, which of course
This doesn't happen in the game, this happens out of the game.
Right.
The game also empowers you to feel the pleasure of being a ninja. Can you see that? It's like keying out. Okay. I don't know why it's keying out weird. The pleasure of being a ninja. You can use the Wii U gamepad in innovative and intuitive ways. The gamepad acts as a second screen. Here, let's take a look at that. A second screen to display useful information such as health and nymphometer and weapon selection. You can touch the screen quickly to switch weapons. This is a real bonus for the player because touching the Wii U soft screen is a smooth experience. It's one of life's little gifts. And even if the screen is off, you can touch it, and it will elicit a pleasurable response in the brain of the player. So even if you're not playing the game, you can still touch the screen. Okay. The game. Did I say this? The gamepad also allows you to play the game off TV. So this is a great feature for those who want to enjoy the game without disturbing others. So mom and dad could watch something fun on TV like twitch.tv/EGI_2 while you could be touching the gamepad under the covers. I have more. The game looks amazing. On the Wii U with enhanced graphics, it can showcase it runs at a smooth 60 FPS frame rate, which is essential for fast-paced games. The game also has a lot of blood and gore, which is a trademark of the series. You can see enemies explode into chunks of flesh when you slash them with your slashing sword. The game does not shy away from showing the brutality of your actions, which, if performed in the real world, will certainly be punishable by the fullest extent of the law, so do not try this at home. The game also has a lot of content to keep you busy. Don't try it in the real world. To keep you busy for hours. That's fullest extent of the law. The game has a lot you can do and keep you busy for hours. Hours and hours. The game has a lengthy campaign mode, which follows the story of Ryu, who is cursed by a mysterious force that threatens to gobble him up and force him to spend eternity in a warm, comforting belly sack of the mysterious force. So that's kind of what that would look like. And that would be sort of like a cozy womb-like place where Ryu would feel safe. He would be tightly held, while the mysterious force could still go about her business, going to the store or the bank. The game also has a new playable character, Ayani. I think I said that right. Ayani, who's a fan favorite from the Dead or Alive series. Can we show this? I think Twitch changed their rules, so I think this is okay to show. The Dead or Alive series of games, which are quite fun. And Ayani has her own chapters and missions which offer different gameplay styles. Razor's Edge, Ninja Gaiden, Razor's Edge, Mirror's Edge is a game that deserves your attention. Whether you are a fan of the series or not, the game is a thrilling. Oh, Siri, turn off. Shoot, my Siri turned on. It's a series of. It's a very pleasurable and satisfying experience that will make you feel like you have a metal sword penetrating the warm, soft flesh of somebody or something you wish would go away forever. And it is a game not to miss. Back to you, Robbie.
Back to you, Allan, and let's take a quick break, and we will be back with And we're back for EGI 2 Stream 5. We have just heard from Allan and his very special, very illuminating report on Ninja Gaiden 3, the Razor's Edge on the Nintendo Wii U. Allan, tell us a little bit about your reporting journey, your experience in covering Ninja Gaiden 3, Razor's Edge on the Wii U. And let's also go ahead and open up the phone lines to people wanting to discuss what, in fact, we have all experienced collectively here this evening.
I just went online and I wrote up what I thought about Ninja Gaiden 3, and I did some research, and I didn't replay it, but I watched some gameplay and just wrote from the heart about, and I found images from the game that resonated with me. And I will just say that I'm just looking at the numbers, and I think showing a little bit of Steamboat Willie did juice the numbers, because we have more viewers than we did before when I started.
I think getting Steamboat Willie really brought in the big numbers to the stream. Definitely.
We know this voice very well. It's Joe Botnick from the great state of
Hello.
England. And Joe Botnick, how are you doing tonight? What did you think of the report?
I really liked the report. It was really informative, and I think having the big M on there is going to do nothing but good for EGI, and really it's just a matter of time before you actually get a sponsor
and
now.
M, of course, being Ria Hayabusa.
Yeah, the ninja guy.
Right. All right. So, Joe Botnick, have you played Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge on the Wii U, or perhaps one of the other versions of Ninja Gaiden 3? Which did you find to be the premier, the better of those which is better?
I think the version which had the Wii U the Wii U version had the touchpad, right?
Correct.
That was the best.
So Allan was sort of. It's kind of like that, but with the buttons on the side, much smaller. The screen is, I think, 480i.
And you could play Steamboat Willie on it.
I mean, I guess.
You can play Steamboat Willie on anything that has a screen, and now that is officially legally okay. And so if you're watching this, tell your friends who are streaming to raid us if anyone wants to get a totally legal glimpse at an all-time classic.
So do raid if you're hearing this first. You can raid at any time if you've heard it. If you can, if we're talking to Joe Botnick, what's the scene looking like where you are in terms of the Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge fan community? Are people coming out? Are people out in the streets? Are they in the clubs and the pubs talking about these?
Yeah, everyone's talking about it. It's actually since Allan's report, I think it's been popping off.
Oh, great!
I'm seeing people in ninja suits, like outside my window as we speak. It's really exciting.
Of course, and if you know that one of the people in the ninja suits is wearing a pink belt, then that means that they've decided to play the game on easy.
Yes, to their great shame.
Joe,
well, actually, it's okay. You can be easy. You can play on easy if you want. It's fine.
It's fine. There's nothing wrong with playing games on easy. They tried to make it into a very I would say a deeply hateful kind of a thing. And and no one I think responded well to it. But if you could just not it's distracting.
It's fine. I think everyone's much more accepting of people's skill levels these days, and they don't have like embarrassing names for easy difficulty, you know.
There's no reason to make yourself stressed out. Games are supposed to be fun. If you got to play something on easy to get through the story, if you're enjoying the story, then go ahead and do it. No one's gonna make a face at you. No one's gonna try to put anything weird on you.
Absolutely, yeah, I completely agree. And I think Allan should keep playing Steamboat Willie throughout the rest of the episode, just throwing my 2 cents in there. I think it's really good. I'm really enjoying it. So thank you, Allan, for that.
While we have you, before you head off to your job in the early morning hours, what games are you? What are your New Year's resolutions as it is related to EGI2 on Twitch.tv/EGI_2?
I shared in the chat earlier that my New Year's resolution is to play Body Harvest on the N64,
Body Harvest. This breaking news: Joe Botnick is going to complete Body Harvest on the Nintendo 64. I would love to see a shot of the screenshot of the screen of the final screen of Body Harvest when you get to that milestone for yourself, and you could just turn the sound down on that. That would be it'd be easier for me to concentrate. I think it would be easier for Joe Botnick to
I could lower the sound, but I think having a little bit of the sound of the game, I mean, it's not a game, it's a movie. Having a little sound will draw more viewers in because they'll hear it and they'll say, what is that? And they'll tune on EGI2 and maybe they'll sub and like and give us bits because this is what this image here that you're seeing on your screen, this launched one of the most powerful corporations known to man, just from this little kind of cute little cartoon. So I think now they're sharing that gift with us. We can juice our numbers by just showing it, hearing it a little bit, and people will juice our numbers just from hearing it. Maybe EGI2.
The numbers are already juiced. They're juiced right now.
Yeah, we can put it away. We've peaked for the evening. I think you could.
I'll lower it a little bit.
Unless somebody from Body Harvest would DMA Design, Take-Two Interactive. Decides to join us here on EGI2 to give the Christmas goose.
Caboose.
There's a goose in this.
Okay, so thank you for your call,
You
Joe
see the
Botnick.
goose?
Good luck with Body Harvest. If everybody in sound
I
off
will.
in the chat about Body Harvest.
Sound off on that.
I will definitely. I will complete it for you.
What's his name? Henry.
Mickey. Oh, I don't know the goose's name.
Joe Botnick. Who's the man in Body Harvest? The man who travels back in time to stop the Body Harvest from happening, because we do forget that Body Harvest does take place in the past, not the future.
I believe it was Adam Drake, which
Adam Drake?
he's my coolest. He's the coolest guy ever, and he's like a space guy, and he shoots aliens.
If you're standing, Adam Drake in the chat, let's hear it. And Joe Botnick, wonderful to hear from you. Happy New Year to you and to all of your family and friends on the other side of the pond. Who knows? You could have your own general election this year if Prime Minister Sunak decides to call one. You never know with that country. They just have elections. Just so.
It would be really nice if we could. Yeah, that would be great.
All right, thank you for your call, Alan. Can you just put that down for a second, because
Sure.
we do have. Speaking of free content, and we're obviously exploiting that to the benefit of all.
It's totally legal.
Content that is now free for fair use and all free use and whatnot. We do have a Steam key giveaway. Steam key giveaway.
Oh, Willie.
No, just Steam.
Steam Willie.
So the EGI2 Steam Key giveaway has started. Let's go, Alan. I'm going to give you ahead and give you your own Steam Key. You can follow along on your own Steam Key giveaway. We have the giveaways right here. These are, of course, Steam keys that may or may not have already been redeemed. But I do think that if you're paying attention, if you believe in the power of free Steam keys, then you will in fact get one. If you're paying attention, you'll get the Steam key, Alan.
Right, I have my Steam keys right here.
So first Steam key of the evening is for Midnight Fight Express. Your baby face. This is the summary of Midnight Fight Express.
Do you want me to
Alan.
read it?
You go ahead and read it.
You're a babyface. You're a babyface, a former member of criminal underworld lured back into the life, quotes.
The life, of course, being the life of crime.
Oh, got it. By a mysterious AI drone, that's in the news. Your mission against impossible odds. Fight your way across the city before sunrise and prevent a citywide criminal takeover together.
So that's this just in breaking news. No one else is talking about the
Am I
Steam
supposed
key.
to read it?
Midnight Express is the Steam key
You're a
first
babyface.
Steam key giveaway of the evening. So get your pads and
iPad is
pen. If you have your pen out, get your pen and your pad out for the Steam key giveaway for Midnight Fight Express. This is
Let's call it a Steamboat Willie Steam key, so we juice the numbers with that, and people will say you're Steamboat Willie. They'll watch.
Not
We're still
unnecessary, and we are of course we're giving out the key live for this game that is. We forget to talk about what kind of a game it is, which of course is
You're
a kind of. If you remember Zombies Revenge.
Yes, I do.
Dynamite Cop.
I didn't never forget that.
And of course, Die Hard Arcade. This is kind of the Midnight Fight Express is of course a kind of a spiritual successor for those early 3D co-op beat 'em up games.
Yes, absolutely. And the Steam key. Can I say the Steam key?
Yeah. So the way that works is that Alan and I will read the Steam keys not in tandem, but we'll make sure to repeat each character in the Steam key, so no one misses a beat, no one misses out, someone will miss out, because the Steam key starts now.
Ready? I K I Y T P 3 C V 5 B D 9 X. So that's a free game.
It's free Steam key that may or may not work for Midnight Fight Express for the Steam.
Really juicing the numbers.
Juicing the numbers for the Steam key giveaway, and we're Steam key giveaway continues. Let's just Steam key giveaway number 2 starts right about now, and I'll do this one, Alan.
Okay.
Then we'll alternate. So Nobody Saves the World is no slides for that.
Oh shit.
No.
We're okay.
Alan, I don't like the brown word.
I dropped water.
When the ancient Nobody Saves the World is the number 2 Steam key giveaway of the evening. Nobody Saves the World, of course, is a action adventure game from the people that brought us Guacamelee. And it is the second Steam key giveaway of the evening. When the Ancient Calamity Reawakens Who can save the world? Nobody. That's you, Allan. Nobody. Master the art of transformation to become a slug, a ghost, a dragon, and more in this new take on action RPGs from the creators of, like I just said,
I don't know what you said.
Guacamelee.
Guacamole.
Complete quests to discover and swap between 15 plus varied and distinct forms, mix and match abilities in unexpected ways to unlock and complete even more challenging quests and explore a vast overworld on your own or with a friend online. So the second cooperative game on the for the Steam Key giveaway this evening. While clearing shape-shifting dungeons in an effort to stop the calamity and save the world. So nobody saves the world. It's a play on the world's day on the Steam Key. Get your pens, and pencils ready. T 6 E L
V. Okay.
V 7 N G J D Q. You say it after.
I was saying it after.
8
X
P.
We did it.
So
enjoy that.
That's Nobody Saves the World free Steam Key that may or may not work on the Steam Key giveaway on Twitch.tv. That one will work. The fact is that this is the Steam Key giveaway, and we have the original giveaway. So Allan, why don't you take it away? The next Steam Key game, which is From Space. And this is just read this in your funny voice.
That's no bubblegum army. That's an endless horde of menacingly pink aliens taking over our planet! Exclamation point. Enough sweet talk. Grab your gear. We need you and your squad to defeat the pink pests. If anyone is doing a cartoon and they need voiceover work, I'm available for voiceover work. Just reach out to me independently of this. I would love to do that. Your mission, liberate. This is really long, Robbie. And I don't see the Steam Key. Your mission, to liberate Earth from the alien horde.
And this, of course, the alien horde does remind me, Allan, of Alien Front Online. We talked about Frame Gride on the Dreamcast. Now we're talking about Alien Front Online, which is could be another example of game sponsorship on EGI2 stream. Future stream for EGI2.
Hey, oops, I got it.
And it's all wet.
Oh, why is it wet?
So if you think about if you're thinking about the Alien Horde, you think about Alien Front. Of course, the Dreamcast it was Alien. It wasn't just Alien Front. It was Alien Front Online. It was one of the only games you could
Don't
play.
touch the front of it. Just touch the back.
If you could play Alien Front Online, then you could play it with friends or enemies, Allan. You could have a team set up. You could play it on through the Dreamcast's network adapter, and it was a game that I think has voice support.
Voiceover work?
Voice support for using the extra Alien Front had a dang dongle that you could put a microphone in.
Mm-hmm.
Then that dongle was, of course, a great way to communicate with your team, fight back the alien menace in Alien Front Online. But of course, that we are not giving away a key for Alien Front Online. We're giving away a key for
Frame Gride.
From
Space. My bad. You want me to keep reading it?
Yes.
We have an emergency on our hands. Resistance to the high energy horde mode. I'm just trying out different voices here, just in case that.
Just go to the next paragraph.
That was the next paragraph. Collect tokens to unlock weapons, items, and perks. Oh, to boost your stats.
Perks to boost your stats.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Or you could do a different voice, like perks to boost your stats and build the ultimate loadout based on your playstyle.
Hey, you should do voiceover work. You have a funny
complete
voice.
formidable missions and extract your squad to gain well-earned experience to level up your character. And this is, of course, another cooperative game, an action game.
Yes, boost your co-op scores.
It's time to save the world. Embark on a journey to beat fellow Earthlings that require your assistance. You virtuoso. So again,
where's the Steam Key?
The Steam Key is on the second. So we have a number of others. So if you could just read that as quickly as you possibly could, then we can get to the Steam Key.
As you level up, you'll be able to attach special perks to your character, helping you to master the art of destroying aliens. Pew pew! And you'll need to find ways to combat increasingly more powerful aliens. The perks will help you accomplish your pink alien squashing dreams. You I'm just improvising. I'm not quite
Yeah.
good at it. Need to need to rethink your strategy. No problem. We like innovators. Perks will be swapped around in between your squad. I'm just gonna skip to the number because I can't. I'm
Just
not
skip
having
to the
fun
numbers.
doing the voice.
I don't think that the voices are working now.
All right. So, K. Oh, no, you do the numbers.
So, okay, the numbers are as follows. K, Q, with Allan.
K,
Q, G, 9,
T,
N, W, P, 8, J, E2, VCR.
E2 VCR, like the old VCRs
yes,
that
like
you'd
the
play
old-
VHS
that
tapes.
you might have. Okay, so thank you. That's from Space, free Steam key that may or may not work on EGI_2. The Steam key giveaway continues with Expeditions Rome. This was of course this is the big one, Allan, because this was the flagship game on the Humble Choice December package. Humble Choice, of course, is a great way to get a bunch of Humble Choice. Get a bunch of games for $12 a month that you may or may not give away on EGI 2. And that, of course, for Expeditions Rome, where you play as, if you're a big fan of Rome, take on the role of young Legatus, whose father was murdered by an unknown political opponent, and forcing you to escape Rome and take refuge in the military campaign to subdue Greek rebellion. Sounds complicated, and the Steam key is as follows: M Z G E G T K L 4 9 0 L 3 G J. Another G J combo. We had another G J earlier.
Steamboat keys.
Steam, and that was the Steam key giveaway
The
on
Steamboat
EGI 2.
key-
No one else
Steamboat
is
key.
talking about these games on the Steam key giveaway, but it's, wait. Of course, the Steam key giveaway could be brought to you by FrameGride, Minigaming PCs, and that was Allan's report.
Oh yes, thank you. I didn't see that.
So we didn't. We should have played that earlier.
It's okay.
But it's okay. We played it already, and we're back to the news you can use. Allan, let's open up the phone lines and let's see what people are saying about the Steam key giveaway. Did you get a free game? Who are you and where are you?
It's Cody from Florida again. No, I didn't get a free game, but I feel happy with the games I have.
Given the choice of the 4 games that we gave away with the Steam key giveaway, I think this is only the second time that we've done a Steam key giveaway. Given the choice, which of the 4 games stood out to you the most?
Well, nobody saved the world, but also I just got it last month for free from PlayStation Plus.
Oh. So
I already have that. That's the one I wanted the most, but PlayStation Plus already gave it to me last week for just being a normal level.
I'm pretty sure I already own Nobody Saves the World, and actually that could have been the one that I might have already redeemed. So if that's the case, then sorry and better luck next time. Nobody Saves the World is on the Steam key giveaway.
I'm privileged to be considered.
Cody from Florida, when talking about the Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge report from earlier, I'm sure that everyone in Pittsburgh is just in a bit of a state of what is it when numbers of people come together, a crowded hour. People are running out to the streets shouting things shouting the name Ninja Gaiden 3, Ryo Hayabusa, the woman from the Dead or Alive beach volleyball games. What are you?
I'm actually.
What's the report?
So, I mean, that's a very hard game. Ninja Gaiden's always been a very difficult game to try to beat.
It's a hard game, but it's not the hard. That's the one of the modern trilogy that's famously not that hard.
It's fun and action-packed. It runs at a smooth 60 frames per second, and you can just enjoy that sort of hyper-violent fun.
But I also like how you can play as Ryo Hayabusa in Dead or Alive 4 and 5.
Did you put that in the special report?
Yeah, let me see. I think I had that.
Did you? I don't remember hearing that. Oh.
And what is it? And
yeah, I had that. There.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you could play as him fighting against all of your favorite Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive.
No, Dead or Alive.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's Extreme Beach. Extreme Beach.
Stop touching it.
Oh, well, if you keep touching it, it keeps going to the nasty.
Oh. Oh.
Oh dear. Okay, so Scott from Pittsburgh, everyone in Pittsburgh is talking now. Back from almost like a shot out of the past, blast from the past, and of course not referring to Blasto on the PlayStation 1 from the past, but in fact 2012. 12 years have gone by since Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge dropped onto Wii U consoles, either on a hard disk or as a downloadable format from the precursor, of course, to the Switch eShop, which was the Wii U digital store, which was also called the eShop.
They were both called any shop that's online. The E stands for electronic, just like an E.
I'm sorry.
Stands for electronic.
Yes,
Is Steamboat Willie doing some sort of attack?
With Phil Hartman. Sorry, Scott.
Steamboat Willie seems to be doing some sort of quick time event on this opponent here. It seems to be some sort of grapple, button mash attack.
Just classic button mashing.
And this is a great way to goose the numbers, but we don't need it anymore. It's just, I know it's important to you, Allan.
It's not important to me. It's important to the show because we are trying to goose the numbers.
Okay, so thank you for your call, Scott. Scott from Pittsburgh. We have another call on the air. We don't have another call on the air.
Just to do our due diligence, I will say Twitch did change its policies on this sort of Steamboat Willie style content, so we are able to show, more, adult content like Steamboat Willie, and legally we're in no peril. Unlike our certain legal perils.
Unlike the people in Body Harvest, of course, Allan. We just kind of shift.
Yeah, we can talk
back
about that.
To talking about gaming, we
yes.
can talk a little bit about Body Harvest, which doesn't fit precisely into that 2002 to 2011 kind of sweet spot of gaming that we do tend to cover on EGI2 Stream 5, but in fact you can't have, of course, you were talking about Grand Theft Auto 6 earlier, you can't have Grand Theft Auto 6, you can't have any of the Grand Theft Auto games in it without Body Harvest by DMA Design, Take-Two Interactive, which of course DMA Design became Rockstar North. Caller, you're on the air with EGI2 Stream 5. Who are you? Where are you calling from? And did in fact the DMA Design become Rockstar North?
I'm Max. I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I don't know anything about the history of Rockstar. I wasn't even aware that it was became anything.
DMA Design, they came out, of course, they brought us a number of great games as DMA Design, including Body Harvest and Space Station Silicon Valley, and of course, the original
Grand Theft
Auto, the top-down open world
driving game,
driving around, jump out of your car, mow them down, no mercy, no regrets. Life of Crime is a life.
Well lived.
Then there was Crime Wave.
Was that?
And Crime Wave was on the Sega Saturn, and I believe that Grand Theft Auto came out after Crime Wave, so you can't have Grand Theft Auto 3 to 6 without also having Crime Wave on the Sega Saturn, which also may have been on the 3DO.
I thought that was a arcade cabinet, or was that a port?
Well, Crime Wave, the top-down?
Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I think I may have been thinking of there's like a side scroller with a similar name, maybe?
Are you thinking of Narc?
Narc, that's what I'm thinking of.
So, yeah. Narc, of course, is almost like is an interesting game, Allan, because Narc is kind of like a side-scrolling a beat 'em up in some ways, in the way that you move around the space, but in fact you're not beating anybody up, you're shooting criminals.
Yeah.
And criminals should be shot. Just to be clear, that is the moral stance of EGI2. If criminals, what they've done deserves retribution.
No, this is EGI2
I'm so glad
2024. We are beginning the year with mercy, with love in our hearts
but not for
our fellow
Robbie.
man.
Robbie.
There's countries in the world that don't that don't need to just blast away at each other like we
criminals.
do in this
Come on.
particular society. They do quite well. The happiness index shows that the happiest countries in the world, in fact, have some of the lowest gun owner.
That's a chicken and egg.
It's also
Max
interesting.
Max from Los Angeles.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, of course, on this wonderful? Did you get a Steam key this evening? Did you redeem it? Did you get a free game? Are you happy with what you got? If you did,
I didn't, but admittedly, I have so much of I have so many games that I need to get to. Like, my general policy is I need to play at least 2 hours of everything that I own. And I have so much that I haven't gotten past that 2 hours.
well, if you're going to play 2 hours of something, I highly recommend picking up a Sega Saturn and Crime Wave on a CD and a big one of those big plastic Saturn game cases.
I mean, it would be interesting to try just because it's, that was...
There is no try, just do.
You say that, but I can't imagine how much it would cost to get a Sega Saturn in this day and age.
You could.
You can figure it out.
Yeah, probably. I'm sure I've got a grandparent with
What
some
is your
extra
New
cash.
Year's resolution? While we got you still on the line here for a couple more moments, what are you looking forward to in 2024? It related to EGI 2 Stream 5.
Well, currently my goal is to try to more deck building video games. I love deck building board games. Want to try like a Slay the Spire or I guess Inscription Casey's mod is what I enjoyed. But I'm just trying to find more deck building games in 2024.
So you would have been very excited when we did the funny video game news, and we had in fact who was it? But it was none other than Mitch Landrew was talking about the Metal Gear Acid series on the PlayStation Portable,
man.
which was not only was
Here
that
we go
hilarious,
again. Yeah.
but it was also referring to the often overlooked solid 6 out of 7 deck building games, Metal Gear Acid and Metal Gear Acid 2 on the PlayStation Portable, which I think turns 20 this year, at least.
Just like you. No, me. I'm turning. Back to you, Robbie.
Back to you, Allan. PSP, of course, I believe turns 20 at the original PSP release in Japan, not the Western release, which was a different year.
Right.
So, I mean, since it's 20 years old, does that mean that it's going to be cheaper to pick one up somewhere?
I would suspect that you could probably pick up a PSP for fairly cheap, but these days they have all of these wonderful, if you can picture sort of mini gaming desktops, but handhelds with their own screens. You can pick up some of those for as low as $120. A good one goes for as low as $60 that can still play PSP games in a native widescreen format. In Metal Gear Acid, I'm pretty sure the UMD for that did not utilize the full storage potential of a UMD disc.
That's right, Robbie.
So really, emulating it on a handheld system might be a better way than picking up original parts.
You didn't hear it. You didn't hear it here because we are skirting, of course, the rules based order here on Twitch.tv. But I would say that play your backups in any way that you can, as long as you keep your heart filled with light and close to God.
I mean, pretty much. It's the reason that I will be keeping my copy of Harvest Moon N64 on the little cartridge as long as that thing will keep lasting.
And Metal Gear Acid and Metal Gear Acid 2. If we're lucky in 2024, maybe we won't have to go through the side door, on the underside of this on the underside of the gaming world. There is a side door. We know what it's called. The side door says RetroArch or any other emulation platform. And if we're lucky that the Metal Gear Acid games will end up on the Metal Gear Master Collection Volume 2, since Volume 1 was such a disappointment to so many people, Allan.
Yeah, a lot of these games that people don't like, they keep coming out with these old games and they're weird. The rain looks weird and everything looks weird.
Well, at the same time, like, if that wasn't, if you're someone like me who didn't get to experience it when it first came out, that's, but, assuming you're doing things within Twitch's rules, that's how you have to experience it.
Is that true?
Some Mossy Lump in the chat is saying Robbie's been on a big God kick lately, Allan, and I figured that that's something that we should probably address here, which is that because this is going to be such a stinking rat bastard of a year coming into 2024. That it's important that we all keep something in our hearts that lets us sort of float above the mire and the rat bastards and all of the stinking, rotten things that are going to come out of the.
True, and there's only so many times you can play
And there's
Stardew
only so
Valley.
many things that you can do to keep yourself above that. But maybe if you have something, and you call it God or call it whatever you want to, but if you have something that you can hold in your hearts that helps you float above all of the rat bastards, then please keep that in your heart for 2024, because we do believe, and I believe that the place that I have been turning to the most, of course, is the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, in which I have been able to I've reduced my stress levels mightily by learning from the masters of smithing and alchemy everything that I can, and selling just these beautiful swords, Allan, just absolutely beautiful swords.
Are you playing OG Elder Scrolls, or are you playing it with any like quality of life mods?
No quality of life past the anniversary edition. So that was a free upgrade that you got if you bought the base game and all of this, and I don't know if it was considered season pass at the time, but all the DLC.
Robbie, what religion am I supposed to be? What do you want me to do?
Sort of a.
Wow.
Allan, you're asking me a question that if I were to identify you as something.
I'm not asking you to identify me. I'm asking you to direct me in a journey of faith.
Just go to just check out Zoroastrianism.
Okay.
And I think you'll find that kind of covers most of the bases.
Thank you, Robbie.
So moving on, of course, the breaking news. We do have a brand new segment, and it is based on an old segment that we did at the beginning of EGI, the EGI 2 run of shows, and that is, of course. What the Fact Man said, but this is in fact what the dialogue script
As in
Primal
tongue
on
of the
the
fact.
PlayStation 2 said.
Okay.
So Max, thank you for your call. Let's go ahead and give Max a bit of a break, because he's going to have a rough 2024. We're all going to have a rough 2024, but maybe somehow the dialogue script from PlayStation 2 will in fact get us to the following year unscathed and better shape than we were before. And so the conceit of this, of course, is that originally we did have a segment, Allan, called What the Fact Man Said, where we printed out a game facts fact and sort of extrapolated what we could of value from the fact, gave it out to the stream for free live here on EGI2, twitch.tv/EGI_2. And when I was planning to do the same thing for What the Fact Man Said, but using the Primal Fact FAQ. So but when I went to the GameFAQs page for Primal, I found that someone had posted the dialogue script from the entirety of the game. So I thought that would be fun if you and I read through some of the dialogue script for Primal.
That's
Primal on the PlayStation 2. Primal, of course, is a wonderful, solid 7.5 out of 10 game. I think that most people who've played Primal will agree. Not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. Absolutely. Better than average, but not great.
Right, classic EGI
game. A classic EGI classic. That we will now read the dialogue script from.
No one else is doing this.
No one else is talking about this. Especially no one else on Twitch that I know of is reading the Primal 2 Primal dialogue script.
Sound off in the chat if anyone else on Twitch is talking about this.
And if there's a special hidden corner of Twitch that filled with Primal players, then bring them over here.
Tell them to raid us.
Tell them to raid us.
We could all just do it together.
Goose the numbers, and I bet that we don't need this anymore. We can take it away.
The numbers are getting goosed.
Okay, so we're goosing the Primal numbers.
Tell people we're watching this Steamboat Willie while we're goosing the numbers and while we're reading the Primal script.
And of course, as we read Primal, we have to be. We're going to read We're going to read some of the first 4 scenes of first 4.
Why stop there?
Well, why stop? Well, because we only have the hours that we have.
Okay,
and we
I know.
have to get on to other. We have to get to It's the Arts, and
There's 58 scenes.
there's 58 scenes in total. But we'll come back to what the not what the Fact Man said, but what the Primal
script
not
said.
Primal 2. We can only wish. In fact, I think that for the Horizon
Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden
Forbidden
West,
West.
series is kind of like a
That's true.
successor, not just because it has a female protagonist, of course.
Dinosaurs.
Okay, so scene 1, Lewis is taken, and Lewis and his band are playing at a club when he becomes unnerved by a strange figure in his crowd. And of course, Lewis is
So it's already pretty
Jen,
interesting.
is Jen's boyfriend. So this is already interesting.
who am I?
And I will be reading the part of Jen from Primal, and Allan, of course, will be reading the part of Scree, the gargoyle sidekick from Primal on the PlayStation.
Let me just
2.
try to
If
master.
you're
Let me just try to get a voice for Scree.
So I'm Jen.
Got it.
Allan is Scree.
Okay, but there's a lot of other characters.
Right, and there's a lot of other characters, and there's some more stage direction here.
Okay. I'll just.
Scene 1, Lewis is taken. Lewis and his band are playing at a club when he becomes unnerved by a strange figure in the crowd. Lewis and his band are playing on stage when after they finish, and that was repeated twice. And thank you, by the way, to the creator of this fact, Babigur, Babigur 194. Go ahead and plug those characters into the Steam key redeeming window and see if anything comes up, because I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of the old mysticism at play there.
Am I Lewis?
After Lewis's band finishes playing, Lewis retreats backstage where he splashes water on his face and stares at himself in the mirror.
Okay.
A mysterious, I'll do the mysterious voice too, as well as Jen, and then Allan, of course, you are Scree. I'm also going to do the mysterious voice.
Got it.
Which says, "Say, mister, you one of them badass rock stars?"
Whoa.
And then Lewis says, "Oh, Jen, you scared the crap out of me." And then Jen, that's me,
Right.
says, "Sorry, babe.
Do
Hey,
voices.
Lewis.
Do the voices.
What's up?" Okay, so
I like it when you
what
do
is
the voices.
How would Jen? The voice of Jen. She had a voice, of course, in Primal, but I don't want to. I'll make
Just
her
do
my
your
own. So I'll
own
give her
take.
kind of like a Kennedy kind of thing.
Okay.
Sorry, babe. Sorry, babe. Sorry, babe. Sorry,
you mean
babe.
like John?
Hey.
Like the Kennedy?
Hey, Lewis. Like Jack Kennedy.
That's more
Hey, Lewis. What's up?
That's more like a why.
Why?
Sorry,
hey,
babe.
Lewis. There's this. Lewis says, "Hey, there was this huge freak in the crowd staring at me like some whacked out psycho."
That's awesome.
There's a lot of Lewis, and actually, let's go ahead and just skip to scene 2, which
Okay,
is in
great.
the hospital, where Jen has been taken to the hospital. She will meet someone who will change her life.
This sounds really interesting. I'm quite engaged with this
All
script.
right, and Jen looks. Jen's in the hospital. She thinks she's dead. She's not dead. She wakes up. She sees a strange figure in the corner.
Is it Scree?
And it's Scree. Huh? What the hell are you? I thought I was a bit short for the Grim Reaper, aren't you?
Where's it? I don't see Scree's.
Oh, I forgot. A great shot of the Green Reaper, aren't you?
What page are you on?
This is a page. The
There's no
pages
page
don't
numbers.
have numbers, but this is scene 2, the hospital, about halfway down the strange, and you read the strange figure line.
Oh, strange
or
figure.
You can assume it's going to be Scree
Okay,
from Primal.
Can we get a picture of Scree up for a minute, please? Oh yeah, you're not dead yet, Jennifer. I think he'd sound like that. But if you don't be quiet and listen to me, you'll soon be dead. My name is, well, let's just say you can call me Scree. That's great. I've been sent to find you, to show you some very important things, and to enlist your assistance.
Right. Well, Scree, glad I'm not dead. But first, you'd better explain to me how come I'm looking down on myself. She is creeping me out. She's creeping me out. She's creeping me out.
Your corporeal form, the one still lying there, is very weak. And maybe fans in the chat, if they are animators, they could animate that.
Absolutely. Maybe if you can imagine, if you just use your imagination, the
Imagine
mouth's
the mouth is
moving. We're
moving.
in a hospital room. These are obviously stock photos of the characters from Primal that we have to use.
But imagine the mouths are moving.
But imagine.
That is only part of you. The other part, your spirit, that's you. This is like that religion you were talking to me
Yeah,
about.
Zoroastrianism.
This is like Zoroastrianism. I set it free from your body so we could talk. In fact, now that it is free, you'll find you can travel to places you never imagined.
Right. So like I'm right, and it's
Not
kind of
sound
like what
Australian.
right.
You're doing Kennedy?
Read.
You think
Read.
just say like
Read.
I am a
Read.
I am a
Right.
They'd be like
Right. So I'm like an astral projection or something.
That's Australian. Essentially, can you put up the screen? Can you put up the
Oh
screen?
yes, scree. Alan is scree.
Essentially, yes. This is great.
So what does that make? So what does that make you? So what does that make you?
I am but a humble servant to m'lady, and to you I'm a friend, someone you need to trust. Now quickly, you must come with me. We're both vulnerable here.
Okay, only because only because
I'm intrigued. You want me to do both?
I've never
I have never been.
an astral projection before.
There you go. Okay, Jennifer.
What the hell? Oh my God! What just happened? Where are we?
Questions. It's hard to do. It's hard to do the voice. Questions. We're no longer in where?
Mortalis.
Mortalis. We've stepped through a rift gate into the Nexus. This is so cool.
Still. Wait, kind of like a French accent, maybe? Kind of like
Try it.
Like Jacques Zouk-de-doo.
Oh, yes.
Zouk-de-doo.
That sounds better.
Still, who?
That's much better. Go with it.
Okay.
As I said earlier, should I change my voice?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe like a, hey. Oh, that's going to be hard. As I said earlier, your spirit is no longer constrained by flesh. You have left the physical, mortal realm and now stand in the Nexus. I don't like that voice. I'm going to go back to the old one. Convergence point for energies drawn from the four realms of Oblivion.
And of course, if you're just
is this an
breaking
Oblivion
news,
game?
this is not, of course, the Oblivion of the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. This is, in fact, a separate. It's just you can use the word Oblivion and apply it to any sort of ethereal
It's just a
sort
word.
of place, any kind of a
word. There's no legalities
There's no
around the
legality
word.
involved here. Elder Scrolls Oblivion had not even come out yet. There had been
There's
a number
no
of games
legalities.
used Oblivion in the I think.
You can say Oblivion. You can show anything. You can show anything on Twitch now.
Anyway, so if you're just joining us, we're reading directly from breaking news. We're reading from the dialogue script for Primal from Primal from the classic action adventure game that allowed you to transform into different beings in different settings, in different times and places, and have those beings be sort of related. So if you can imagine, you were
cool.
you got to be you're played as Jen. Of course, Jen. I'm playing as Jen in the
Robbie
script.
is Jen,
and Allan is
there's
Scree, and Allan is, and Scree is. So Jen would go to let's say like 18th century France, which is why I was doing the French accent.
Right. Oh, that makes more sense.
And she would dress up as if she was a courtesan.
Croissant?
Type of a woman who goes to a big party just with the expectations that she would be bartered with by those in power. But she's also, I think, a vampire.
Vampire. Sound off in the chat if anyone else is doing this, if you're rolling through Twitch, if anyone else is doing this, and if they're not doing this, tell them they don't have to do it because we're doing it.
Okay. So, questions. Okay, and then
questions. Okay, go.
Sounds like Croissant. Sounds like one of Lewis's fantasy novels.
It sounds like one of Lewis's.
Sounds like Lewis. That's Jen. That's Jen.
Jen. Yes.
Lewis's fantasy novel of C.S. Lewis, or perhaps the other one, Lewis Carroll.
I think Lewis is a character in the game.
Oh.
This is real, Jennifer. I know you mortals think that you are at the heart of everything, but believe me, you're not. Now, please try to absorb all of this quickly. There's really no time to waste. I don't know if I love the voice.
Okay. Okay, I'm trying. Okay, just one thing though. No matter where we are, you got to stop calling me Jennifer. You sound like my stepdad, stepfather, stepdad. It's stepdad in the script. It's Jen. And then Scree points to two metal objects floating in a bowl of fire.
Scree, I am giving you these. This is probably like a power up in the game. These are devices, or like a weapon. These are devices that are to help you learn your true self.
And if you're picturing what Scree is handing Jen, of course they are these. They're sort of gauntlets with long claws on them.
Like Wolverine claws?
Oh, it's more like a Vega from Street Fighter 2.
Isn't that similar to
Go ahead.
Wolverine claws? If my lady is correct, they may afford us some protection. Back to you, Jen.
Perry. What am I supposed to do with these?
I want to change. Oh, the Van Brace.
Van Brace.
Van Brace.
We all, of course, this is breaking news. Van Brace is, in fact, the name of those gauntlets.
Wow.
It's called a Van Brace.
Oh, okay.
Which, if you recall, from many eons ago, when we had a previous show called Electronic Game Information, we did a whole segment on the Van Brace.
Oh, that's what that was. Okay.
But it was
coming together.
Back then. It was like a horror RPG.
So this is kind of the enjoyment you'd get if you were a longtime viewer. It's kind of a very long. This is kind of the joke was set up maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and now we're hitting the punchline. It's a Van Brace. They fasten around your wrists. Please, it's important that you trust me and just put it on.
I just jumped out of my skin, left my body in some hospital. I left my body in some hospital, dragged through a rift gate.
Rift gate.
And I'm in oblivion. Van Brace, not a problem.
Precisely.
And with that, we have come to the end of what the dialogue script from Primal said.
I like this new segment.
So, Allan, are you excited to see what the journey of Jen and Scree is going to take us in future?
This is one of the most exciting things that's happened on EGI2 this year, and it's a long script. This is only the first 2 scenes.
This is the first 4 scenes.
Well, okay, but there's 50.
And we had to skip 2 scenes because I mistakenly did not have. We don't have enough people in studio to cast as the drunk guy from outside the club, the guards,
right,
the hospital staff. There's 3 doctors, 2 doctors. There's 3 doctors, but only 2 have lines.
There's 58 scenes in total, so I'm very excited to see where this goes. Just any sort of the human brain is conditioned to be drawn to narrative and storytelling since the beginning of time. We've told stories, and this is another just kind of wonderful story. It's a video game story, but
it's not just
literature.
You can't have a video game story without the dialogue scripts. The voice actors or unless it doesn't have dialogue or voice actors. But let's go to the phones and see what people are saying about Van. If people are excited, if people are excited that Van Brace is the word
Finally.
Van Brace has worked itself back into the show, back into our hearts, into the show as a kind of a hop. It's kind of kind of a picture of Van Brace is a what is it when vaulted? Can you vaulting the Van Brace?
You could vault the Van Brace. Every time I try to type in Van Brace, my phone corrects it to car race.
Caller, you're on the air with EGI2. We've just done a brand new segment called What the Primal Script, dialogue script from Primal on PlayStation 2 said. What did you think of the new segment? Are people excited about this new segment?
I was very excited about the new segment. I think everyone in the chat's very excited. People seem to be loving Primal 2.
Primal, it's not Primal 2, it's just the first Primal. There's only one Primal. That's the problem.
Okay. People are loving Primal.
People love Primal. People love Van Brace. The Van Braces. There's 2 Van Braces. There's the funny thing, Van Brace. There's 2 Van Braces in Primal.
For 1 for each arm.
Mm-hmm.
1 for each arm.
So is the second Van Brace?
And you can see kind of it.
Oh,
If you look underneath there, the dialogue, what is it when dialogue is just words on a page? Text.
Transcript?
That is, those are Van Braces on her arms. You can't really see it because of the text.
Oh, Jen is wearing the Van Braces?
this might be, that's just Scree.
Does Scree get his own fan brace? Or?
Does Scree give his own fan brace?
Well,
we'll
I don't
have
wanna
to find
spoil it.
out.
We'll find out.
Exactly.
Tune in
we'll
tomorrow.
have to find
Tune in
out
next
when we
week.
come back. Well, tune in next week or
whenever we do it.
Whenever we will be returning to the dialogue.
Let the caller talk.
I'm really excited to come back next week and see what happens with Jen and Scree. Very invested.
They're absolutely, their adventures take them, again, all over the world, all above, beyond, beneath, and to many different time periods. And caller, since we've got your attention, we've got you we've got you here. What are your thoughts about your 2024? What are your New Year's resolutions, if you have any?
Well, my normal New Year's resolution was just to read more books, so I was going to try to read one book a week. But I guess my EGI-related resolution is to start a spreadsheet for the games I play.
Oh, that's an absolutely fantastic thing, and I do think that we've got...
you inspire people,
we had a wonderful evening, didn't we, Allan, with the spreadsheet? Not in 2024, but in fact 2023.
That's right. We had a wonderful night out on the LA River, just Robbie and Allan having a blast looking at the spreadsheet. And it's just this caller, thank you for your call. You've kind of illustrated a point I've been trying to tell Robbie for a while, that he is a significant figure in history, and he inspires people. You inspire me every day, Robbie, and you've inspired the caller to start a spreadsheet. And I think, sound off in the chat if you're going to start your own spreadsheet, because that's your impact on people, Robbie. People love you and care about you, and they take what you say seriously. So that's why I'm joining this new religion, which is called...
Zoroastrianism.
Pretend Philosophers, first time chatter, says Robbie and Allan, it's 2024, which means it's all time we all get serious and make a decision. We all know what this year means. We all have a choice to make, and my choice is to, of course, finish Skyrim and immediately start Proteus.
Oh, fun! Maybe I'll start a spreadsheet too, because I'm a bit inspired by the caller.
And also, once I finish Proteus, I think I'll stay with the boomer shooter genre for a minute there, and I'll play Forgive Me, Father, and then Cultic.
Whoa, that sounds like an incredible resolution.
When you're talking about when we get it to the hot seat on 2024, and somebody tries to pin you against the wall and say what games are you playing, just always default to the boomer shooter genre, now an official category on Steam. So breaking news.
Great.
No one else is talking about. No one else is talking about breaking. No one else is talking about the breaking news that the Steam store now has boomer shooter as a genre.
That's really awesome.
Whoa, I always learn so much on this show.
Me too.
So, what you said? What first book? You said you're trying to read a book a week. What's the first book you've been reading this first week of 2024?
Well, the first book I read, and I did finish it, so I'm off to a good start. It was called Pieces by Helen Oyeyemi, and it was about a train. This couple goes on a train trip. It was really good, and I highly recommend it to anyone watching EGI2.
Pieces is actually, I believe it's on my
list.
It's on my library queue. So when it comes to I get an email notification from the LA Public Library when I get Pieces. I think it's back. I think that's the one that's back ordered. It might already be at the public library. The first book I've read this year is a book about why they changed the badge on Tom Cruise's jacket in Top Gun Maverick.
They wrote a whole book.
They wrote a whole book about it, why they changed it. They took out the Taiwanese flag.
And why did they do it?
Oh, wow.
I just have to finish the book, I guess.
Spoiler alert, I don't want to know. I'll read
it
them.
starts with that, so it's not a spoiler.
La 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 la. I don't want to hear it. I want to read the book
and
just find out myself. Oh, I'll just watch the movie. That's great, because I didn't want to read.
Caller, thank you for your call. Thank you. Good luck with the EGI2 resolutions and the real world resolutions. We will support you with whatever powers we can given us to the monotheistic deity of Zoroastrianism.
Let me look that up.
Oh, thank you so much for all the inspiration.
We have
Mazda.
another caller on the air right now with us.
Aura Mazda is the one true God who created the world and everything in it.
Lines are still open, so we can make sure that we do have a caller. It looks like they might have called back. Caller, you're on the air with EGI2. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Scott from Pittsburgh.
Hey, Scott.
I had just one special request, Robbie, and it's been a while, and but we're back in studio. I was curious if maybe we could recap the 2022 Game of the Year awards.
2022?
Well, yeah, the 2022.
2004 and 2005.
I missed it last year, and I regret. It's the main thing I regret in my New Year's resolution was to see if we could recap 2022 Game of the Year awards.
Unfortunately, the buttons that I have here, Scott from Pittsburgh, are unfortunately the old. We do have if you cut to the Allan camera, we might see some of that.
Well, back to Allan.
Back to you, Scott from Pittsburgh. Fortunately, we only had buttons on the Stream Deck for 2004. But that's something that we should maybe think about doing. Is always have the EGI Game of the Year.
Well, I do think that Steamboat probably won the award for most buttons pushed on that pick.
Scott from Pittsburgh, thank you for your call. Thank you for supporting the show and giving us lots of things to riff on. People love to riff in 2024 on EGI2, and we are bringing that with a deep vengeance, a deep anger, a deep frustration in the course of current events.
Keep grinding frames all the way through 2024.
Keep grinding your frames, keep remastering 2024. Rat bastards are coming for every single one of us in all forms and all shapes and sizes. Don't trust a single damn one of them, but do what you can to keep the heart clear and the mind.
I will do my best.
Allan, I'm reminded of an old adage, and if I'd like to share with you an old story, if I could, to give you a little bit of context to what I'm talking about. There was an old hatchet, one of those old rusty old hatchets that you used to chop wood back somewhere deep in the Ozarks, I think it was.
An old hatchet.
An old hatchet, and it was stuck in the log. It was stuck in the trunk of. It was stuck. The stump of the trunk. The stump of the trunk is just called
the stump.
The stump. So it's stuck in the stump with the logs next to it, and people would walk by the old hatchet, and they would say, "Well, look at the old thing. Its time has come. Its time has passed. It's rusted. It's stuck in the stump, and we don't need it anymore." So everybody would go to the shiny new store, and it was what is one of the first stores, I believe, in the Ozarks with electrical wiring. So the lights were on. It was beaming in the night, and people were drawn to it. This beacon in the darkness, of course, in the dark woods of the Ozarks pre interstate highway system. So people would go to the store. They got their new tools. The tools were shining. The tools were gleaming and sharp and strong, and the wood was just being chopped like madness. Just a madness came over the people.
This
Allan.
is a game you played?
No, this is an old story that I'm telling you. And the story, and of course, and then the townspeople.
I can hear you.
Had these great big axes, and they chopped down all the trees, and all the trees fell down, and then they burned all the trees in the big fire that you set when you have all that wood, because they ran out of houses to build. They had enough houses. The people had stopped moving to that particular piece of property.
Why?
The property, of course, being the larger ecosystem of the Ozarks, mountains and forest. And so all the houses had all this extra wood they didn't need, so they burned the great fire, and found themselves smoldering and coughing, and the air was hard, Allan. The air was hard and cold, and it blew too strong, and people were upset, and they cried because their eyes were all dried out because all the soot and wind and cold.
This is really incredible. Are you making this up?
And the people of the Ozarks turned and then a little boy. It was a little boy he was. Or it was a boy and a girl.
Okay,
and they were together. I mean, not like a couple, but they were friends.
But they had
longtime friends.
And they had interest in each other.
Friends since they were it's as if they had been born out of two different women holding hands.
That's how all friends are made.
Right. You come out of hole there, and you grab onto the first thing you see, and in this case, it was the boy and the girl.
They held hands, and they're
right
not,
out of the hole.
And they're just friends.
And they're just friends.
Okay.
But that's the kind of a bond you cannot underestimate. But that's a different story. The question was they found the old hatchet. And they brought it, and they brought it to the stream, which was an oily stream because of all of the burning, because people had been dunking oil into the stream.
So it had
was
that
slick with the black slick of oil.
And it had that sort of shimmery shine of oil.
And,
I got it.
So they used the shimmery shine on the hatchet, and they shined it up, and the rust is gone, and they scrubbed it hard with the steel wool that came from the great company, the great iron steel works up north. They would send just baskets of steel wool to these communities because they were trying to sell a new product because steel wool had not been invented yet.
What I learned from this story, Robbie, is that I think that logs are just trees remastered.
But if I could, and I appreciate you for chiming in with that bit of wisdom there, but the story was that the axe, the littler axe, the hatchet.
There were two.
The hatchet was
one
remastered.
Hatchet and there's two children.
But there's one. Why did you say the littler axe?
Because a hatchet is a littler axe.
But there's no axe in the store.
No,
there's just a
they bought
hatchet.
all the axes from the new store, the electric store.
I missed part
Back
of the
to
story.
Allan. So there's only a hatchet?
Thank you.
No, there's multitudes of larger new axes purchased from the electric store that have been used to decimate the landscape where these people live. A wasteland is created with their it's an intellectual property, but it's when it's just the physical thing.
Physical property.
Private
property.
Private property.
But which hatchet do we care about?
Show is that the moral of the story is if it's stuck in the stump. No, wait. The moral of the story is that what comes from a stump is greater than what comes from a lighted store.
What comes from a stump is greater than what comes from a lighted store.
And with that,
Back to you, Allan. I think it's like Excalibur.
Thank you for your call. I'm glad that you were able to join us for this great
Thank you so
look
much for your
back
call.
into folk history, a folk tale. Which I hope that we can all learn from. Let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll be doing It's the Arts, and I think that's it.
Okay, great.
Great. And we are back for this is the final chunk of I think you call it a chunk or chapter or perhaps a volume.
It's a quick bite.
It's a quick bite. It's a
bite. It's a
a
bit.
bite.
It's a bit. It's a
bit.
Okay.
No, it's a chapter. We're here for the final chapter of EGI 2 Stream 5 here live on twitch.tv/EGI_2, and we're going to start off this final chapter with, of course, it's.
Oh, what am I seeing?
Wait.
Is that art?
It's the arts.
Oh, great.
Hold on. It's the arts, of course, brought to you by FrameGride, mini gaming PCs, and the word. Just imagine, if you can imagine, the word splashed across the front of a slide that says "It's the Arts."
Okay.
So let's dive right into "It's the Arts" with, of course, a wonderful,
that is art.
beautiful "It's the Arts" from Hambone Bussy.
Let me take a look at that. I love that.
Of course, what do we see here? But of course, a screenshot, as if a screenshot from our beautiful and thought-provoking deep dive into the spreadsheet live from the LA River bike path and the Frogtown Narrows and some of the yards besides
The Frogtown
Narrows.
And here's some of my photography.
And we do have some beautiful photography from that trip.
This is my art photography.
Here. So you can see it's the arts, of course, represented there in photography, and now here in a kind of a screenshot on an old CRT television that's hooked into a mini PC with a skull on it. And a beautiful rendition of how all of these elements work together, and you
Here's
can
some
see
of my photography.
I almost look like one of those top one of the characters from one of those grand old DMA design Rockstar North games. I think we all know which ones I'm to which I am referring.
I don't know.
But that was it's the arts. And going forward, thank you, Hambone Bussy. We have from Vague Plague. Vague Plague, sound off if you're still in the chat. Vague Plague, everybody give a round of applause to Vague Plague and Hambone Bussy, featured here tonight on It's the Arts. The wonderful rendition of what we were seeing, what people on the stream were seeing when we were doing our outdoor urban exploration. What is it when you're just spelunking, but it's just feet on the ground?
It's an urban exploration, real-time adventure. So this is one of my photography shots.
So everybody got to see that live on EGI2, and I believe on...
What a way to start the year, to end the year.
What a wonderful, great way to start the year with that end the year. We started a new year.
Now we have...
We did a countdown.
Oh, right, yes.
So we did a countdown. It was fantastic. We got through the spreadsheet. We explained how the spreadsheet worked. Well, we explained for however many times it takes to get the understanding of the spreadsheet out there. We also got to see the sun go down.
Yes, that was so beautiful.
So, Mitchell Andrew, back to the funny video game news, the arts. But Fiona Healy sent this in. No, this is confusion. This is not canon, but it is in fact a wonderful
nice painting,
rendition of our dear and plucky and dynamite, Alan. It's just dynamite what you do out there on the street, reading the chat, getting people excited about
beautiful
gaming news and gaming truths that no one else is willing to explore.
That is so great.
Fiona Healy, wonderful, beautiful painting. Not canon, but still, it's the arts.
Yes.
Here we have Geo sent in, of course, an actual spreadsheet, and if we can just get a little bit of a close up there of the spreadsheet. You can see all these wonderful games that Giovan H. They signed it Gio, G-I-O.
G-I-O.
And I decided to, but I wasn't sure because I think I've referred to them as Giovan H in the past.
Steamboat.
In the email they did, and so Gio, beautiful shot of the spreadsheet. bring the spreadsheet back up.
Oh my God! Not this again. You're killing me.
Jesus.
Wow.
Christ.
Whoa. Oh shit.
Okay. All right.
Oops.
Umfold Johnson's wonderful rendition of this came. Did I? Okay, so I didn't print it out, but this came with a story from Umfold Johnson of how they found a actual gaming desktop.
What?
And were able to get
I don't know what that is.
can now run AAA action
found
games. They found it got a neat on what I believe is a 4-year-old desktop. If you're in the Unfold Johnson, if you're in the chat, if you can give us a
let us know what that is.
Remind us of what the story is. I don't see the printout.
So that's found.
But there was a
art.
printout.
That's sort of like a Deschamps sort
so
of.
they found a desktop
piece.
and then they were able to upgrade it. And I think you can see these are all the different components that were added to the desktop to bring it up to speed and make it so it was a fully functioning gaming computer that can be used to play such wonderful games.
I don't know that art. Is that art to do that or to find something? And it's documentation.
Tekken 7.
Anything could be art.
Anything could be art, including Tekken 7 and all of the 20 DLC packages for Tekken 7. It's the arts.
That's it.
Next up is Laurel and Link, and
friend of
this
the
is
show.
a great. This is a multi-part series for Laurel and Link.
Robbie and Allan.
A comic book.
Oh,
Allan.
Great! I would love to read a little comic
So
book about
if
Robbie and
everybody
Allan
could
going
close
on
your
adventures
eyes and
the kind of
imagine what it
adventures
would
we
be
go
like
on.
to go to your neighborhood comic book store.
But keep
ask
your
for
eyes
the
open so you
latest
can look at the art.
issue. We'll open them later, but close your eyes for the imagination part, which is imagine you're going to your local comic book store, support your local comic book store, and demand from the bursar.
Bursars off.
The one that takes the cash.
Cashier.
Demand from the cashier that they bring the newest issue of EGI2's Spreadsheet series. So if you imagine there's multiple series, similar to how there's all the different, there's Amazing Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, then just Spider-Man.
Spider-Man
then
2.
You have Spider-Man 2099, Spider-Man, Spider-Man Unlimited.
Wonderful
Spider-Man Annual Spider-Man.
The Spider-Man video games.
Or X-Men. You have the X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, Forbidden X-Men.
I don't know.
Well, you have all the all the X family, Excalibur, X-Factor. I don't know if Excalibur, but anyway, imagine that you're specifically you've got your mainline issues of EGI2. You want the newer Laurel and Leak. I heard Laurel and Leak's writing EGI2 for a bit of an arc.
I would
because they refer to them as arcs sometimes.
Right, yes,
sometimes
yes.
it's a mini-series, sometimes it's a maxi series.
I would pick
but they're
that
always
up.
arcs. So Laurel and Leak's arc is
Let's
Robbie
take a look.
and Allan big adventures with their favorite spreadsheet.
This is so great.
So page 1, Robbie, and then that's
here it is.
twitch.tv/EGI2. Robbie, this is Robbie reporting live with a spreadsheet, and it was a spreadsheet emergency, Allan. And people forget that it was a spreadsheet emergency because we had the holidays, we had a great deal of money sloshing around, a lot of liquidity. Which is one of the reasons why we chose to be so close to the river.
The liquid of the river.
The liquidity of the holiday shopping season.
The fluid inside the river.
Fluid inside of to cool the CPUs.
If it's a liquid cooled CPU.
So sometimes it is.
Okay. Let's read the comic. I'm very curious.
So the comic is it's the arts.
Okay.
So this is live emergency spreadsheet broadcast. Slide
this is so cool.
Forward.
Oh wow!
Now look, if we're here, you'll hear that I bought. This is when I got distracted from the spreadsheet because we were right by the train tracks.
Yes,
Allan,
I remember.
The Metrolink train tracks, which also is shared with Amtrak and other freight.
I do remember that
Networks that use the rail yards there, right by Los Angeles Union Station, and we never really did find out if that was a Antelope Valley or the Ventura County of the Metrolink line, but I wanted to see it, and I got to see it, and I got to see some of the final trains going into Union Station of 2023, and to be there for that with you, Allan, was a highlight of a very difficult year.
It was a highlight for me as well, Robbie.
Well, I mean, to be able to share with you the final trains of the final Metrolink trains, the final commuter trains of 2023 was just something I'll always remember. Thank you. So next, then that was page 3, and then page 4 is I'm so. What is that?
It's so far away. It's hard to see.
So it said I'm so happy. Okay, is that?
I'm so happy
for you, Robbie. That was train.
That was train. Oh, and there's the drawing of the train.
And there's a drawing of the Metrolink
Robbie does
train.
love trains.
It doesn't. It's not quite enough an accurate representation of what I believe those consist of.
That specific train that you saw.
But it's green. There's green on Metrolink trains generally.
Okay.
Sometimes there's blue.
This is so nice. I'd love to.
Laurel
print
and
this
Lake,
out and read this.
aka Mossy Lump in the chat. We applaud to everybody.
Thank you so much. That is so nice.
Who've submitted so far.
And beautiful as well.
Very beautiful.
Whoa.
And this was, of course, the final gift of the year was Christmas cookies.
Christmas cookies.
With our visages.
I like to eat that up.
Baked
gobble,
in.
gobble, gobble.
Gobble.
The idea of eating a little cookie Robbie is pretty fun for me to think about. Maybe I'll think about that tonight.
Imagine just biting into a sweet, soft cookie and maybe dunking it in a glass of milk and just wishing it was Christmas.
I wish I could eat you up, Robbie. I wonder what you would taste like. You'd probably taste sweet and a little gooey and sticky. I would love to do like a warm cookie Robbie. You just gobble up. I'd see the crumbs get stuck in my beard, and I'd go into the next room and shower. Go, get those crumbs out of your beard. And I'd have to go, oh, I'm sorry, it's just Robbie. It's just Robbie in there.
So let's go to the phones and see what people are saying about It's the Arts and see what people are thinking as we begin to wind down EGI2
love a
Stream
cup.
5, the first Stream
Wine.
5, Stream, fifth Stream, the first Stream, 5 is the first.
5 is the first?
5 is the first of 2024. Let's open up the phone lines, see what people are saying about all of the things that we've talked about this evening. If people want to refer back to subjects that we have covered, then we will be happy to do so.
We gotta wait for the calls to come in.
We wait for the calls.
There's a delay. There's a bit of a delay on the
Always a
stream.
bit of
We'll just wait. They say you're not supposed to have too much dead air on streams, but I think it's okay. Caller?
Oh, we have a caller. We do have a caller on the air. Caller, you're live on EGI2 Stream 5. Who are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm Kat. I'm calling from New York.
Kat from New York.
I did call
Absolutely.
earlier.
Friend of the show, Kat from New York.
Thank you. I just
Ithaca,
wanted to call in and say that, well, I'm not in Ithaca right now. That's where I go to school. But right now I'm home for winter break, so I'm in Monroe, New York
Where
now.
in the great state of Empire State of New York are you? Do you call home?
I am in Monroe, which is like Orange County, like kind of close to the city, like an hour away from the city.
Nice.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you must be excited are you excited to be heading back to school soon, or are you dreading getting back into the old academics?
A little bit of both. It's my last semester, so I'm a little nervous about what's going to happen after that. But I do like Ithaca better than this town because it's just a nicer town.
Gorgeous.
Yes, gorgeous.
That's right. Ithaca is gorgeous.
And we do, and Ithaca, of course, it's a big gaming town, Allan. Everyone's always having LAN parties in Ithaca, for what I remember. Ithaca is.
Well, Kat's the Ithaca expert.
Kat, you're the Ithaca expert. What's the good gaming news from Ithaca?
I have to say I don't know much gaming news from Ithaca.
Okay.
I'm sure it's out there, but I'm not the expert on that, unfortunately.
Okay, well, Kat, if I could ask you this question, what's been your gaming experience from the last couple weeks since we've had EGI, since Stream 4?
Well, my gaming experience has been that I really have not played that many games. I've been playing Half-Life 1 still a little bit, and I have more games on Steam to play, but I haven't played them yet.
Oh, where are you in Half-Life 1?
Like 20 minutes in, but I've played it already, so I'm just playing it again.
So you're just 20 minutes in. Has the situation even deteriorated yet?
Yeah, well, I'm after the Resonance Cascade, and then I got through a few hallways, and that's about it.
Resonance Cascade, Allan. Resonance Cascade is always one of those words that it just rolls off the mouth, out of the mouth.
Yes, Resonance Cascade.
Resonance Cascade.
Yes, it is fun to say.
What do you when you hear the word Resonance Cascade? You think of Half-Life, but you also think of
Half-Life 1. I think about
Yep.
Half-Life 1.
Just that's it?
That's the first thing that popped into my mind. Residence. Say it again.
Cascade.
Half-Life 1. Back to you.
Back to you, Kat, from Ithaca, or not from Ithaca, from Monroe.
Utica. Ithaca.
James Monroe.
Oh, Monroe, right.
I assume
Monroe.
that it's referring to one of the elder statesmen of.
Well, Kat's the expert.
Kat, you're the Monroe expert. Half-Life.
Try Half-Life 2.
Now you're playing Half-Life 1. What's bringing you back to Half-Life 1? What are you looking forward to seeing in 2024?
Well, I don't really know what brought me back to Half-Life. I just had it, and I could not make myself play a new game for some reason, so I had to play a game I already played. But hopefully in 2024, I will play some new games that I haven't played yet.
Well, if I could recommend to you anything, searching out some of the wonderful Metal Gear Acid games that we were talking about earlier. I do believe that Metal Gear Acid is poised for some sort of a comeback as far as Metal Gear related card battlers, people that really enjoy that art style, Metal Gear art style, Allan.
And I count myself among the many that enjoy the Metal Gear art style.
It's a kind of a scratchy, watercolory, gray, lots of grays
muddy.
and muddy blacks.
Yes, well, that's kind of what I would like to look at most in this world is some muddy
textures, and kind of like a watercolor, like a streaking kind of quality to it, Allan.
It sounds good to me to see something.
Kat,
like
how
that.
does the Metal Gear Acid series sound to you?
It sounds good. I like that it sounds, I don't know, the art sounds weird and interesting, and I like that, so I'll have to look into it. Yeah, and we just did the art, so it's perfect.
It's the
exactly,
arts.
and that's what we call a
callback.
Callback. Okay, great. Thank you for your call, Kat from New York. Let's hit the phones again. See who else is waiting out there. If you're wondering what's happening, we're trying to get connected to the list, but it does not look like we're going to have the list in the chat this evening. So we are going to be taking your calls for the remainder of the show, and hopefully somebody has some New Year's resolution that's really going to knock our socks off.
We'll just wait quietly for the calls to come in. Somebody who's watching this now should just call in. And what does that stand for?
Oh, let's just zone out for a while and let while callers review games for us.
Okay,
let's try that.
Let's just zone out for a while callers review games for us. Are they doing it? I don't hear it. Are they doing it? We're gonna try something. Caller, you're on the air. Caller, you're on the air. Ring ring. Ring ring. Ring ring. Joe? Is that you, Joe?
Why don't we look at
Caller?
What if we
Caller?
Yes. Hello. It's Joe Botnick again. Hello.
2 Stream 5 caller. How are you doing this evening?
Doing really good, Robbie. How are you?
It's a good guess on my part.
What are you talking about?
I said, Joe, you're on the air.
Joe, you're on. Oh wow, what's Joe?
And it was.
Yeah,
and it was.
And it was me. Yeah. Do you want me to review a game or?
Go ahead and review a game for us. We're gonna have a quick zone out here while we figure out what to do next, since the list doesn't appear to be up and running this evening.
Okay. well, it's a new game. I hope that's okay. I recently finished playing Alan Wake 2, and it's the comeback of Alan Wake after 13 years. He's back again, and it's a survival psychological horror game with action elements to it. And it's a third-person thing where you follow two characters. There's the titular Alan Wake, who is trapped in a nightmare. Yes, Alan, not Alan Resnick, but Alan Wake. He's trapped in like a nightmare dimension, sort of like Alan Resnick is trapped in his little room. And he's trying back to you, Alan, and he's trying to escape from this dimension. And the other character is like an FBI agent who's investigating what's going on, and it's not very scary. It's marketed as like a horror game, but really there's just like some really sudden out of place jump scares. It wasn't a very scary game. And then there's a big musical number which is very fun, but it's not very scary. But still, I really enjoyed it anyway. It's kind of just like a weird kind of thing. It's unusual. It's like an outlier. It's worth a look. I really recommend it. If you like just kind of fun, weird things, and if you like random musical numbers with dances that you can learn and have fun with, and yeah, I'd probably give it like 8 frames out of grade, I think.
Frames out of grade. Breaking news: Joe Botnick has given Game of the Year in some places. Alan Wake 2, 8 frames out of grade.
8 frames out of grade.
Wait. Cut to me, and then Robbie say Alan Wake 2.
Oh, right. Got it. Alan Wake 2. 8
Back to you, Robbie.
frames out of grade.
Oh my God.
So, Alan,
Wow.
Joe Botnick, did you play Control? No, Joe Botnick, you're apparently the center of this universe for this evening. So go ahead and answer.
Oh my
the question.
goodness.
Did you play Control?
I will take your questions, chat. I did play Control. I didn't really like Control very much. For like a good 3/4 of it, I really wasn't into. Yeah.
Anti-Control.
I wasn't into it, but it kind of won me over because there was another musical number at the end, and that I just like musical numbers. So can we talk about games that have musical numbers in them? Because I appreciate those.
Now, Alan, musical numbers, of course, remind me of Alan Wake.
Wait.
Alan Wake. Alan Wake.
Ah.
Musical numbers, of
Back to
course,
you,
remind
Robbie.
me. Back to you, Alan. Remind me of the No More Heroes games have musical numbers. At least one of them must have had a musical number. If you're gonna kind of threw the spaghetti at the wall musical number, Alan Wake. I mean, No More Heroes. Alan Wake. So this is the
I
kind,
didn't.
Just joining us. This is the kind of fun you can expect to have on EGI2. We're absolutely willing to try just
We should
about
do a
anything
musical number.
to keep people feeling engaged, to keep feeling musical numbers.
We
It's kinda
should
like
do-
we're
we should
having
do a
our own
musical number.
So take it
I'm
away.
so down to do a musical number with you guys.
I'm not gonna
Absolutely.
start.
Go ahead.
You're the music expert, Robbie. I don't think.
Wassail. Can you? Why don't you wassail the chat?
A sale then?
Wassail.
What does that mean?
Joe.
You want me to wassail the chat?
No, I want Alan to wassail.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know how to do it.
Sing joyously.
Oh. I once watched a show. I don't feel comfortable with my singing.
I once watched a show.
A show
that had
the friends,
Alan and Robbie.
I once watched a show that gathered the
And-
friends that became
the friends that played, the friends of the show,
and we
and
were
the frame.
so poorly they were poorly received at the first bar that they went to, Alan.
The friends were?
The friends, the wassailers.
The friends were poorly received at the first
Poorly
bar
received at
that
the first
they went
bar.
to.
It
And
was a pub crawl.
we went on a pub crawl, and we were poorly received.
So the first, this breaking news, this is said, Joe Botnick, Alan Resnick, and Robbie Rackleff, never been a combination of wassailers never before seen on EGI stream.
EGI2
Stream
musical
5.
gets a 10 frames out
With-
of Bride by Adulto Cult. Thank you so much.
Yes.
They were we once watched a show. There were friends in the
show.
show. Their friends became friends because of the show. Their friends were
Yeah.
walking and parading around. They went
Round
to town.
and
They
did-
went to town. They had a song. They sang to them. They sang away and up and down. Up and down
And
the
then
streets
they went
came,
into the
singing
bus
a song
and
about the friends,
the
the friends and
friends,
friends,
the
about
friends, the
song.
friends
Hype
of the
train
show,
coming.
Went
and
away
the
to
friends
be
of the
friends.
show.
We were the
And
friends that
we went
was
to the
because
bar,
of the
but
show,
then
because of the
we were
show.
poorly received, and then we had
No, they're
to
not poorly
practice.
received anymore. I think we're
We've
we're
hit
back.
Oh, we weren't
the-
poorly. Oh, sorry.
Everything is a joyous experience. for most
EGI2 the
people.
musical was so successful we immediately got a level 1
We
hype
do
train
have a
going.
level 1 hype train. It's up to 12.
This is what I'm talking about.
So if you
Like,
pound,
the
if you
musicals-
pound the
Reducing the
keyboard
numbers.
with as many hands as you can possibly muster, then just do it. And,
Here, if we
and-
want to
and
get that
see if
hype
we
train
can
going,
if
we're
we
gonna
can
get
get past
do a quick
level
cut,
level
do a quick
1.
cut to the Steamboat Willie. We'll get the hype train get it up to number 2 quite quick as soon as that.
I think
is on
that'll
air, the
give us
numbers
the
will
nudge we
quite
need.
juiced. So notice how quick. Whoa! See, oh my God! See,
Hype train is up to. We've already received
told you.
a level
I
2
told
hype
you.
train.
This is a powerful
This has
IP.
never happened before.
This is
I
quite
believe.
powerful.
As a result, especially of
Incredible.
incredible feat by the sound, the power of song, Alan.
I think the power of just the power of Steamboat Willie. It's such a powerful thing, and I think look how quickly we'll get up to level 3 with this hype train. Don't show me. Don't show me. Show the. Okay. Cut to Steamboat Willie. Breaking news is Steamboat Willie in. And as soon as we keep this on the screen, I think we're gonna get quite quickly up to the next level of hype.
The hype train is just going to drop as soon as Steamboat Willie leaves the screen. We need to have it on constantly.
Let's keep that on the screen. We want people to see that and get hyped.
And
to
we
see
are
that.
experiencing technical difficulties here, folks. This is in fact what you can expect when you turn on EGI2.
This is what you
is
can
are
expect to
people
see.
that are willing to do what is needed
Raid the show.
to ensure that the show is the best it can possibly be, even if there's nothing planned. Even if the mind is like a chalice, Alan.
Here, hold on.
The show is a chalice, and the wine is the mind.
We're just using the numbers. We're trying to get to a level. Okay, trying to get to the next level of hype train by showing sort of interesting imagery, and maybe in connection these two things will send us off.
Should we like sing more? I'm just throwing it out
Sing
there because
more? Yeah, we
the
could
singing.
sing.
I could sing. We could
Robbie
sing.
could keep singing.
I could maybe start us off with a bit of a song. So we did, of course, the song about the friends. We could talk
friend
about
of the show.
The mechs of the field.
The mechs of the
Since
field.
The mechs.
Since we do the mechs of the field for frame grind, it takes place largely in fields. I figured that.
That's right.
I just want to point out. I don't want to. I don't want to cut.
And everybody outside and in between, it does seem like the list is in the chat.
The list is here.
Actually in the chat right now.
The list is that the list?
The list is here. I don't want to cut the musical short, but the list is here. So maybe we, you
get to a
know.
level 4, level 5, or 6 hype train with we do have the list in the chat. We're
list?
sailing.
We're sailing?
We are seeing. Is this the list? Is list 2 the list of what?
So keep
What is
your-
breaking news?
Keep your eyes on the chat if you want to see the list. Don't look at the screen. Look at the chat.
If we're gonna see the list, if we can actually see
Hype-
the list, let's
hype
make
us.
sure that it is the list, because
that
the
the
list
list?
is the list. The list.
It's
2
time
for
to do the
EGI
list.
2. And the T
Okay,
in
great.
truth, the T in 2 stands for truth, and the T in list also stands for truth. So that's truth times 2 live on EGI2, twitch.tv/EGI2.
That's really great news.
Let's
So
do the
we'll
list.
go for the level 3 hype train because I think the list is juicing the numbers.
Gotta scramble. The list tonight, of course, live here tonight. List 2 has been step 2 verified. It is the list for
great.
EGI2, and the list 2 is in the chat. So let's go ahead and start with the list.
Oh, yay.
The list
Time for the
tonight is,
list.
Of course, Xbox games.
Oh, great.
That were ported from Dreamcast games.
Xbox games that were
Either
reported
from Dreamcast games
It's been
or
the same.
Oh, man.
or were remakes or rather reimagining of Dreamcast games.
Joe, stay on the
Radio
line.
Future, of course, is in.
I'm here.
on
I'm
the
staying.
list. Joe Botnick, what's on the list?
Is 13 on the list?
13 is not on the list because 13 was, of course, the first-person shooter game that didn't quit when it came to very stark black lines between colors. It's shell shading, a first-person shooter game called 13 on the Xbox and PlayStation 2, and I believe on GameCube now. But it was a fully
But not Dreamcast.
game, but it's not on the list tonight. Sorry for that, Joe.
Sorry, Joe.
Better luck next time. Let's gotta hang up on Joe and go to the phone lines. We're doing the list. It's Xbox games that were once Dreamcast games, or were basically, or there's other games that try to fall in these weird cracks in between, like Gun Valkyrie. Gun Valkyrie is on the list because it was in fact designed. It was originally planned to be a Dreamcast game, but it was ported to the Xbox by SmileBit from the Dreamcast development team, which became SmileBit, which was a group of people that were from Sonic Team and the Panzer Dragoon, the Panzer Dragoon development team, which of course is called Team Andromeda.
Okay, great.
Hello, caller. You're on the EDI2 with the list. We're talking about Xbox games that were once Dreamcast games. Or
hi, Robbie. Hi, Allan. This is Adam from Chicago. Is Phantasy Star Online 1 and 2 on the list?
Is Phantasy Star 1 and 2 online is that on the list?
I don't know. Is it?
It absolutely is on the list. It's even though it was on Xbox, it was also on GameCube, and I believe there might have been a PlayStation 2 version. But the fact that it was on the Xbox does mean that it's on the list. Live here on EGI2 Stream 5 here tonight. We've done it. We've done it again. Thank you, caller. It's on the list. Next up, we have another. Do we have another caller? We need to keep the list going. Keep the list going. Caller, you're on the air with EGI2 Stream 5. The list is happening right now. We have the list.
The list is in the chat.
We've received a level HUD train emote, whatever that means. It's only visible to me. I don't know what that means. But what do you think is on the list?
Benjamin Bunny.
We're gonna keep.
Hi, Robbie.
Hey, who are you?
This is Tim from New Hampshire. I was wondering if Hydro Thunder was on the list.
Hydro Thunder is not on the list, unfortunately. Hydro Thunder did not make. I believe there might have been a sequel to Hydro Thunder that did make the list, and of course there is Bloodwake on Xbox, which kind of looks like Hydro Thunder, but it's not Hydro Thunder, and it's not on the list. Thank you for your call, Max.
Was it Midway Arcade Treasures?
Midway Arcade Treasures. Was it on Midway Arcade Treasures Volume 3?
Was that on the list?
I think it was.
So if it was on Midway Arcade Treasures Volume 3, Allan, this could unlock an entirely new section of the list that games that were on compilation discs.
Oh, wow.
That were maybe ported. If it was on, chat. If you sound off in the chat that if we think that
there's so many arcade treasures.
But here's the question that I have for you, Mr. Is it
Tim?
Peter from Chicago?
Tim from New Hampshire?
Tim from New Hampshire. I have a question for you, which is that is it the Dreamcast port of Hydro Thunder, or is it the arcade port, or is the arcade original being emulated on Midway Arcade Treasures 3?
I was wondering that.
The Sega Dreamcast version of the Hydro Thunder was actually ported into the Midway Arcade Treasures 3 for the original Xbox. It was the Dreamcast version ported directly.
It was the Dreamcast version ported.
We've lucked out. So I think we might. We might catch a technicality on that one.
Xbox games that were originally Dreamcast games. Hydro Thunder is on the list. I was skeptical that it was on the list.
I'd hate to say this, but does this make us question the list, or?
This makes us the list expands and contracts much as the brain atrophies and warms and softens. Right. So that
much like the dark place in Alan Wake, we can like constantly rewrite the list and manifest it with those actions.
And absolutely. And the list Punch Gob says the list is infallible. The list is infallible, but the list is also it passes between us. It's almost like a mist or kind of something astral. We talked about astral stuff when we were looking at the Primal script, but now we're talking about the list.
The list is saying
when we look at the list, it's like the eyes of God, but when God looks back at us,
to somebody else about the list. We do have Hydro Thunder ended up being on the list. We didn't believe it was on the list, but it ended up on the list, and this is why we do the list, because sometimes the list is its own. The list is the list.
But the list is saying
the list has the games on it. We just tap on the list and say and point out the games that we think are on it or that we hope are on it.
Okay.
So Shenmue 2 is of course on. So, caller, you're on the air with EGI2 Stream 5. It's the list.
Back to you, Allan.
Back to you, Allan. Wait. And we are having, of course, we have the 100%, we're 100% threshold that we must get to tonight for the list.
I think I remember Sega Bass Fishing.
Sega Bass Fishing is on the list. What was it? Here's the question I have for you, because I don't have the list. In the scramble to do things, I don't have the list in front of me. Was Sega Bass Fishing ported directly to the Xbox, or was it a sequel to Sega Bass Fishing on the Xbox?
I believe it was ported to the original, but I must say I don't like this electronic list. I much more prefer the analog list where I see it print out in front of me.
Well, we haven't figured out exactly the best way to do that, but we are going to try to do what we can, because if there's a mod in the chat that can somehow get the list up and running, pinned to the top of the chat, then we can get the list.
The list is asking to be faxed.
Well, we don't have the fax machine because why don't we have the fax machine, Alan?
Why don't we have a fax? The Frame Guide should be sponsoring a fax machine.
So people would just.
This is a funding issue that Robbie stopped
paying
the funding for the fax-based list.
We're gonna have to figure out a better way to do the list, but the list is in the chat, folks. So if
Can somebody email me the list?
I can't. No one can email anyone anything anymore until we get to the list.
Well, we better let somebody else get back on the list.
So if you can the chat or the list, Mook Burea is in the chat. Someone, for the love of God, I don't know what Mook is saying, but we have another caller on the air. We have a caller. You're on the list of the EGI2. You're on the list.
Hello.
Who is this? Where are you calling from? What's on the list?
Hi, this is Caleb from Greece, Massachusetts, yet again.
Caleb from Massachusetts. Wonderful to hear from Caleb, always. And what's on the list?
I'm not sure. I'm just calling in to say hi again.
Well, hi.
I don't know. What is on the list?
This is a crucial time because this is the list, and we have to figure out exactly what's on the list, or we have to name what's on the list, which is Greece, Massachusetts on the list. Not on the list. Greece, Massachusetts. Hello, it says the list too. I'll try to read the. Oh, there we go. So the list has been pinned one message at a time, pinned by James to the chat by the list, and pinned by Mook. Thank you, Mook. Shout out to Mook. Hit the buttons for Mook. Caleb, the list is Xbox games that were originally Dreamcast games, or were reimaginings of or Dreamcast games. So you can imagine, Alan, Jet Set Radio Future was one of those games that wasn't exactly the original Jet Set Radio. It was a Jet Set Radio Future, which I believe was a prequel, which is crazy.
That is. I'm a big Jet Set Radio fan. So I haven't played much of the GameCube. I was definitely more of a PlayStation 1 and 2. Oh, it's Xbox, not... Oh, right, okay.
It says the list. Write me down and hand me to Robbie.
Oh, what was that?
Someone said write me down. The list is wanting to be written down and handed to Robbie. Alan, can you get on the list?
Can we get transcriber Allan on the list?
Wait. We got it. We figured it out. That's funny video game. I was wondering what Alan was doing.
I was doing a bit.
I remember that he was doing a bit. So Caleb from Massachusetts, Dreamcast game, Xbox game that was either started as a Dreamcast game, was ported directly from the Dreamcast, or was a reimagining of a Dreamcast original.
Oh, you're really testing my knowledge here. Let's see. I would maybe say... Oh, I'm really trying to think now. Maybe one of the... on Xbox. I'm not sure if any of those Capcom versus the fighting games.
The Marvel vs. Capcom 2? Was Marvel vs. Capcom 2 can be considered something that would be on the list, Alan?
You're the list expert.
Well, I'm not. The list, I'm not. No one can...
I'm hearing Robbie.
Chat, what do you think? Is Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on the list? Let us know if Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is on your list. Thank you for calling, Caleb. Always wonderful to hear from you.
Of course.
And this harsh winter storm that you all are experiencing up there in the teeth of the north.
Yes. Dear God, it's...
List 2 says Blipblocks is on the list. The list is Blipblocks? Is it Blipblocks?
I don't know what's on the list.
Okay, we're gonna try to write down what the list is saying as quickly as possible. And hand list to Robbie.
We'll try it.
Okay, we're gonna try what we can. Caller, you're on the air with EGI2 Stream 5. It's the list.
Hi, this is Tim from New Hampshire, just checking in on the Midway Arcade Treasures Collection situation again. Just reporting that San Francisco Rush 2042, it should in fact be included on the list.
Is it 2042 or 2049?
2049, I'm sorry. I was thinking Battlefield there for a moment, you know.
On the list.
Callers are too loud.
And callers are too loud. Robbie too quiet?
Robbie too quiet. Callers too loud.
I don't know.
Okay, I can be quiet on the call. Does that help?
Caller, you're fine. Thank you for the list 2049 minus 7. That's right. And there were 7 games. There were 7 characters
on the list.
Yeah, no, and 7. The 7. Alan, help me out here.
Dragon Balls.
7 sorrows.
7 sorrows.
7 sorrows.
Deadly Sins.
No. 7 was a Dreamcast. It was a Dreamcast game with the word 7 in it.
Dreamcast came with the word 7. I know this.
Cottontail. Peter Cottontail is not on the list. Mr. Jeremy Fisher is not on the list. The lister.
Armed 7.
What is it?
Armed 7.
Ard? Like
ARMED.
Armed?
Killer 7.
Killer 7's not on the list, unfortunately. Caller, thank you for your call. Benjamin Bunny's not on the list. We do have James.
Thank you.
Thank you for your call, and thank you for reminding. Thank you for putting 2049 for reminding us or putting it on. Because here's what I've never
A year not too far away.
Here's what I've never understood about the list, Alan.
Tell me.
Are we putting the games on the list, or the games on the list, and we're just putting a magnifying glass over the games?
This
like
is how
one of those old studies.
This is like how a sculpture is already
the chicken or the list.
The stone.
List 2 says squirrel nut can. I don't know what that means, but it reminds me of the Flanagan brothers.
I don't know, but I wanted to say. I wanted to make my point about the list.
Manimal the Animal. I'm not sure, Robbie.
A Toe Jam and Earl game for the Xbox, but I don't believe that they ever actually made a Toe Jam Earl game for the Dreamcast.
Back to you, Alan. We have I'm making a vital point about how the list works. The games are on the list. The way that an idea is in the stone, and the sculptor has to remove the stone that's not the idea. So you're removing the list that's not the list to narrow down what is already on the list. You're not putting things on the
right,
list.
Right, so it's almost like games that aren't on the list are like a cancer, and we're scraping at the polyps.
Let me explain it this way: the list is a bit like jazz, and you're playing the games that aren't on the list. Does that make sense?
We're not. No one's playing any games. It's the game. It's separate from playing.
You have to listen for the games you're not putting on the list.
Right. Caller, you're on the air with EGI2. What's on the list?
It's Scott from Pittsburgh again, and I just want to say Jet Set Radio and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 are on the list.
I don't believe that Jet Set Radio was ported directly, unless we're talking about Xbox Live Arcade or something like that. But no, Jet Set Radio Future is on the list, but the original Jet Set Radio may have been ported as a Xbox Live Arcade game to Xbox 360, but we are talking about the original Xbox, and I should have pointed that out earlier. Thank you for your call, Scott from Pittsburgh. We do have more calls coming in about the list. People are demanding to know these... People are demanding to know what Xbox games were originally Dreamcast games or were reimaginings of Dreamcast games. So Gun Valkyrie, of course, we mentioned earlier, is on the list. Gun Valkyrie was a Smilebit game. Smilebit was the wonderful studio that brought us so many cutting-edge action and adventure and science fiction games like Panzer Dragoon, Orta, which some people believe was started on what some people believe was started on the Dreamcast, but I don't believe that there's any evidence of that happening. And I might have just made that up from the top of my head, but the fact of the matter is that we are running out of we're running out of games to be on the list. It's a limited amount of. It's actually a quite short list, Alan.
That's okay.
Okay, so what's on the list is Crazy Taxi. Crazy Taxi.
It's on the list.
Crazy Taxi 3 was on the Xbox, but I don't think Crazy Taxi 1 or 2 was on the Xbox.
But we're talking
so
about
unfortunately,
Dreamcast.
Crazy Taxi 3 on the Xbox is not on the list.
Nope.
Crazy Taxi 1 and 2, perhaps one, just 1 or 2 was on the GameCube.
I don't know what's on the list, Robbie.
Well, right. Oh. So if you list vinyl tile and laminate starter kit on the list, it could be those. It could be of course we're reading into the list. Perhaps there's some sort of there's kind of a coding in there. VTLSK. VTLSK. What does that remind you of?
Vaginal.
Vertical. Gun Griffin on the list? Gun Griffin?
Yes.
Gun Griffin Blaze?
Gun Griffin is
I believe there was a Gun Griffin. Chat, sound off if there's a gun. You gotta have the list. There's gotta be some paperwork that comes to the list. Otherwise, we're relying on chat to do a lot of the research for us tonight. But
Sorry,
I think that's
everybody.
okay
The list is
people
in
are
an
excited
awkward state. We'll fix the list.
The technical difficulties we've reigned in the new year with all sorts of technical difficulties, but I'm determined to get out as many games on the list as possible on the list. Okay. So caller, you're on the air with EGI2 Stream 5. It's the list.
Caller, ring.
Ring. You're on the air with EGI2 Stream 5.
Ring.
NFL 2K.
Ring. Caller,
Caller on the air with the EGI2 Stream 5.
I think that might be the end of the list because it's
okay, great.
Oh, Pet Heavy Duty
multi-surface
dry cloth.
Again, we do have a caller. Caller, you're on the air with EGI2 Stream 5. Send us out with some breaking news that we can take with us on this rather rough ending to the show, Allan.
One of the worst endings we've had in years.
Absolutely, but we've learned a lot, and we will continue to build out our ability to bring you the list as it should be, instead of what appears to be some sort of a cross contamination with a different list that is looking for home improvement.
Yeah, the list seems to be talking about home improvement and characters from a children's book.
Well, okay, this is Kat again. Just wanted to call in because it seems like you guys are having trouble getting callers.
Thank you so much.
But I just gotta say, I love the list. I support the list, even though it was doing children's books and home improvement things.
And it was not, and things were happening rather fast. We got very excited, and then the energy kind of dissipated a little bit. But I feel like we got through a great deal of Dreamcast games that were made into Xbox games.
Thank you.
And I think what I'll take away from this evening, Allan, is that when talking about games that were ported to the Xbox, you cannot look away from these compilations like the Midway Arcade Treasures, Taito Milestones. I think there was a Milestones collection on the Xbox. And then there's the multi-platform games that I don't know if count, like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. We never really came down on a answer for that, did we, Kat?
Why don't they count?
Well, because I don't know. Well, the reason that I would think that they don't count is because the problem is this. Are we still got Kat?
Yeah.
Massachusetts, Kat from Massachusetts. What?
Hey.
Oh, we have a new caller.
Rob.
Oh, sorry, we lost Kat, but caller, you're on the air with EGI2 Stream 5. I just had a great moment of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is on the list. We've decided.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And I've decided that just now because this is what we do know is that
Sure
Marvel vs.
yeah.
Capcom 2 in the arcade was running on a arcade hardware board called Naomi, which was
that's awesome.
in fact a Dreamcast.
But I love the Dreamcast. I got two more for you to close out the night. You ready?
Right, let's hear 'em.
Yay.
All right. Power Stone and Psychic Force 2012.
What was the second one?
Psychic Force 2012.
Psychic Force 2012. Was that a light gun game?
That was I believe it was, you were like an arena fighter, kind of like Power Stone. They're both kind of the same thing, but you were locked in like cages.
Power Stone was on the Xbox?
Power Stone ported from Dreamcast to Xbox. No? Did it get ported over? I thought it got ported over.
can we get a fact check on this?
Dog Teeth says, I believe it's on the list.
So it is on the list.
Did it make it?
Great. You
That's
did
amazing.
it. Thank you so much, Carl.
Feels
Absolutely.
good.
What a
Feels
wonderful
really
way to
good.
round out the evening. Power
Yeah.
Stone was on the list, and I would not have guessed.
It's amazing what will happen when you
Yeah.
let people call into the show and you just let them just say whatever.
It's important, and so many things about this evening have been so illuminating, Alan. And you've been here with me for the entire thing. I would say that you've awakened.
Oh, he definitely awakened a few times. I've seen that.
Do it again.
Alan awakened.
Oh.
I don't know why they
Oh,
didn't call it Alan. I don't know why they didn't call it Alan. They call it Alan Wake 2, not Alan Awaken.
Wait a minute, how about Gauntlet Legends? Did Gauntlet Legends make the list? Just a personal
Again, that might have
favorite.
been
Whoa.
a Naomi. I think that might have been a Naomi board game. If it's a Naomi board game, then yeah, it's on the list.
Okay.
Alan Wake.
All right, guys.
Well, so we're having a lot of fun here. We're gonna wind this. Memorable evening down for our final thoughts of the evening. Caller, I mistook your. What did you say your name was?
Oh, I'm Brian from Louisville.
From Louisville.
Yeah. Good to
They
call
say
in
it
again.
differently
I
there,
talked to
don't
you about Dragon Force in the past. Louisville, Kentucky, Louisville, Louisville, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, fine.
All right. Well, Brian, thank you for your call. Wonderful to hear from you. Let's go ahead and we're going to close down the phone lines and we'll talk a little bit about what's happening next here on EGI2, which is this just in breaking news. We are going to be doing a brand new stream this week, Alan.
Okay, this is news to Alan.
This is news to Alan. It's going to be a specifically a game review stream.
Oh wow.
That will be revealed. The game of which we will be reviewing will be revealed shortly. But Alan, if you are free on Wednesday evening for any amount of time, we would love to have you.
Springing this on me
jump
now.
jump in on the EGI2 game review show.
And what is it?
We're going to review a game for I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, 2 hours.
And what game?
We have not quite decided.
Okay, this is interesting to me. This is news to me. I love when Robbie does this and comes up with a new show.
Live here right here on air.
And
when what I was thinking was while we were struggling so difficultly, I was like, you know what I wish, damn it, I wish that we were just reviewing a single game for 2 hours. And so I said it at the end of EGI2 Stream 5, and we're going to make it happen, Alan, because EGI2 is a home for creativity when it comes to delivering gaming news and content you can't get anywhere else. I hurt my back.
What's incredible about EGI and Robbie is he'll just kind of, it's this growing, it's like you're planting a seed and you watch it grow and you didn't think it does all these things and it splinters off and you just kind of don't even know what could happen next. And there's an unpredictability that makes it fun. And it's fun for me to just see what kind of crazy things Robbie's going to say and spring on me at the last minute. So I'm so excited to find out what this new show is, a new video game review show is.
And we're gonna and it's going to be from EGI remote headquarters, of course, not from the main studio. And so you'll be seeing a different kind of visage, image.
Image.
And it's gonna be high energy. It's gonna have a lot of. We're gonna press a lot of buttons. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna review a game. I don't think anybody can expect what this game is gonna be.
I'm blown away by this news. Thank you for including me and telling me about it just now.
You're welcome, Alan. And I hope you can make it. And if you can't, then we'll just keep the fire burning. And maybe one day you'll come in and warm your little dinky little hands on it. And that's it. Good night, everybody.